good evening, everyone. Welcome to Out of Bounds. Hi, it's Kungfufruitcup here. And we have a special, kind of two-parter episode thing going on in honor of Halloween and the spoopy season. You know, we've got all of our scary stuff coming up. So I thought this was the perfect time, of course, to have on some scary games. So we have a few people here today and for the next episode. We have multiple people coming on from the indie horror game community to do some speedruns and show off some glitches. So, hey, if you are new here and you're like, what's up with Out of Bounds? What is this all about? Hi, this is like a glitch showcase style show. So all the things that you could see on mainline GDQs, great. You don't always get to hear about how the glitches work, how they're set up. How do you do them at home, maybe? So this is a show for that. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of all there is to it. I feel like I've done this enough times where I'm like, that's enough information, right? Anyway, tonight we have three people again joining me. The first of which is Drucifer Plays, who is here to show off Signalis, which is awesome. How's it going, Drucifer? What's up?
Howdy. I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good too, Fu.
Oh, thank you. I'm good. You know, I got my COVID booster today, and my arm is sore, but so far, no other symptoms yet, which is great because I didn't know how it would be for the show, honestly. But we're doing okay, which is awesome. So yay. Yay for getting the booster. But I'm excited to see speedrun stuff, even if I do have if I start to not feel as good, I'm really excited to see the speedruns. That's what I'm trying to talk about. So yeah, anyway, you have Signalis tonight. I know that you have done it recently at a GDQ, and I'm excited to learn more about it. Do you want to tell me kind of what got you into it before we start?
Well, I want to say in the last 3 years, I've survival horror has probably become my favorite genre, and I heard about it I forget, probably through a Twitter grapevine of some kind, and then I followed it really hard. It was probably my most anticipated game in 2022, and then it was my favorite game of 2022. It's actually only the second game I've ever speedrun. The first one was Stay Out of the House by Puppet Combo, and which is how I got into the indie horror speedrun community, who graciously reached out about this particular show. So that was a small world, I guess. But anyway, nice. And just I love the game. It's very beautiful. The story is really well thought out and just fascinating. And I feel like every time I play through it, like a casual playthrough, I learn something new or my perspective on it changes. And it's really fun to go through. And the speedrun is a digestible chunk, especially as it being the second game I've ever run. It's hard. There are definitely things about it that take time to learn, but it does feel surmountable to put it succinctly.
I think that's totally fair. Well, I agree with you on visually. I'm really excited to see all the things going into this and just look at it a little bit more in depth because it's really pretty, which you can't always say about other horror games, including Puppet Combo, because that's kind of their whole vibe is to not look pretty. So yeah, so I'm sure this is kind of a nice change. But sweet. Okay, I'm super excited to get into it. Because again, we got 3 games tonight, 3 different people coming on, a little something different for our show. But before we get into it, just so you all know, I am, as always, here to relay questions. I'm always checking out chat. I'm checking you out, chat. What's wrong with me today? But yeah, if you have questions as we go along, feel free to ask. And I can let Drucifer know. And I'm just kind of here to react and learn alongside you all. So I'm really excited. Let's get into the game so we can have some extra time with it. So I'm going to let you give us a countdown to start. Oh my gosh, the eye's moving with is that with a cursor?
Oh yeah, it does. Cool. Yeah, it's very neat. It reminds me of something that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. But yeah, it's fun to mess with.
That's beautiful. All right. Well, I'm going to, again, let you do a countdown, and then you can take us into it and show us all the glitchy funness of this game.
Sweet. All right. So here's the main menu for Signalis. So we have a couple of saves in case anything goes wrong, but I can also just go into debug mode. Also, I want to mention we're playing a down patch version of the game because the patched version removes some very essential things for the any percent run. Anyway, that being said, we'll just jump right in. We're jumping into the very first location you get to. This is I believe it's it's not the detention center. It's almost like the welcome center. The school. That's right. So we're just going to open up this safe here. This safe always has the same code. Nice. 204512, and we're going to grab a key that we're going to need in like 5 seconds. Oh, I didn't say start. You can start. My bad there.
Okay.
I got.
That's okay. Again, like, even using a timer for the show, we're like, we don't really use estimated times. Like, we don't kind of do any of that, so you're
Totally,
fine.
yeah. It's I started talking about the game, gushing, and then all of a sudden. But anyway, so all right, and then just like that, we're done with the school. I should also clarify, our main character's name is Elster. I'll be referring to her a lot, so I should definitely give her a name. And so now we're in the detention center, which is where the spooks really start coming out, and it'll be a little while before our first like technical glitch, but this part definitely shows off a lot of things you have to practice to get the rundown. Let's see, we're just grabbing this service key that'll allow us to open this like hatch at a door in a second, so we can lockpick it.
That's good. So as we're getting into it, then, if you say like their glitches aren't coming up like quite yet, then what's some of the first things you would implement to improve your time in the actual speed?
The first section, the ship Penrose, movement in there is like insanely important. Hold on, let me look at this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1. I think that works. Yep. That's not always that easy. But anyway, the Penrose, the first ship you start on, like, it's very easy to like run into the wall there. I mean, that could be said for most of the game, but aside from that lockpick puzzle that I just did, practicing that and getting like a feel for exactly where all of the tumblers on the lock are, it's really important to maintaining your time. My rule of thumb with that is if I'm not getting through that door by like 4 minutes and 30 seconds real time, then I'm like, I'm resetting. It's like that's one of the big reset points at the beginning of the game, aside from the very first section of the Penrose spaceship. But yeah, the lockpick section or part is definitely the most, I would say, the most reset heavy point at the early part of the game. And then after that, I would say like item buffers, warps, and door warps. Oh, I should also mention what I just did there. I did what's called a door wiggle, which so in the down patched version of the game, I say that because they fixed it in the new one. When you unlock a door, if you immediately spam the interact button afterwards to try to open it, you actually get a delay before you can open the door. But if you wiggle out of it, like wiggle Elster's interact box out of it, and then wiggle back in, you'll be able to open the door a little bit faster. So it's not really like a glitch necessarily, but it is important to getting through doors quicker. And if you mess that up, then it can definitely have an effect cumulatively throughout the run.
You know kind of how long that, or how much time it kind of saves?
I would say overall, I mean, if say you got bad door wiggles every single time, I feel like between 5 to 10 seconds, maybe. That might be hyperbolic, but it definitely feels bad to get them wrong. I'll put it like that.
Oh, sure.
They're mostly free, but they can be finicky sometimes.
Gotcha. Interesting.
All right, so we're gonna grab the other half of this broken key. That's another thing is, I'll mention. You notice when I approached the key and I stopped moving, I like rotated immediately. That's because I moved my mouse a little late, and Elster will she not only responds to the key, like the movement keys that you're using. I should say I'm using mouse and keyboard specifically, if that wasn't obvious. But also where your mouse is oriented, she will react. And if you happen to move your mouse at an inopportune moment, it'll kind of throw you off. And that key specifically has been confusing before because of that reason, of like the interaction with it.
Got it.
Another thing I'll add here that I don't believe is intended, but it's a thing. You'll notice I'm moving diagonally. That is because it's quicker. In these first-person segments where you can moving diagonally is faster than moving just straight forward. And now we're going to radio module, which is one of the most important tools in the game, and we have to channel this frequency to open this door here.
You're almost like strafing to get that.
Exactly. It feels a lot like strafing, but like it just diagonally, and it almost is like the movement speed is like imperceivable, but it definitely, you can hear it in the footsteps that you're moving quicker. It's just like
you're going faster. That's cool.
More frequent. So now I'm having to scrub to get a specific radio frequency. And we're going to open up the menu real quick. So let's see, 87646. 87646. So Signalis 87646 has a lot of safes like this, or at least enough to have to think about it, where you have to look at.
So is only the first one a guaranteed number?
The first one you use is a guaranteed number. We're actually gonna go back to that safe later. And there's like another one later that has like an alphanumeric key. I'm stopping because I'm about to explain something glitch related.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
But so I'll just move on. The first glitch we use in the game is here. It's called a door warp. It's like a door buffer / door warp. So what we want to do is we're going to approach this door, and you're going to see the interact prompt come up. I'm hitting map. You can use the inventory instead, but it just makes the window for getting this glitch to work a little tighter. So anyway, I'm going to show it again. Here's the window. Here's the interact prompt. You go to map. I'm going to back out of map and then immediately push map again. And at the tail end of that button press for the map button, I'm going to click interact. And what's going to happen is the door is going to open, but Elster isn't going to go through it. So once more, hit map. You hear the door open. So
oh yeah, I heard it. Okay,
it's really helpful because otherwise it'd be hard to tell if you got it right. So I'm going to go back out of map, and we're going to wait for this door to close. All right, you notice I went from let me go back. I went from the north corridor over to block A6. So the game thinks I went through this room, but because of us buffering the door like that, we don't get hit. Cool. Sometimes that is
okay.
finicky.
So you walked through without interacting with anything.
Yes, and so what happens there is the door. Before I open up this, before I start the elevator, I'll just finish explaining. Basically, what's happening there is you're telling the game Elster wants to walk through this door, but you're not actually going through the door. Like the buffer stops her from doing it. The game loads in the next room. And since Elster doesn't go through the door and then the door is shut, she's counted as out of bounds. And in every single room in Signalis, there's a spawn point. The developers just put them in there. That's a thing in case, I guess, you go out of bounds. And we can use those spawn points to our advantage by doing these door warp strats. And unfortunately, in every room, it doesn't always make sense because the spawn point will put you in a place that's not advantageous to go. But there's at least 7 or 8 where you can do it. But anyway, we do it. Let's see. We do one room there, and then there's one later. I need to go ahead and scrub to the next radio frequency. But there we go. I want to say there's about 2 or 3 warps, maybe 4 in this area we're about to be in the hospital.
Oh, wow.
But they're not all door warps. Some of them are item buffers and warps, which those are way easier, in my opinion.
Okay.
A lot of, partially because some of them are in first person, and those warps or buffers and warps are kind of free. They do take some practice, but yeah, like if you ever had to do like room skips in a speedrun before, they're pretty much like, you could think of them that way because that's literally what they are. But I'm sure there are other games with sort of similar like tech. So now we're grabbing the pump room key to move through here and let us access the room below us. I'm trying to think. I would say this particular section of the game is we don't want to look at that. One of the heavier like glitch sections as far as like just the way you move back and forth across the at least the top level, maybe not so much the bottom level. I feel like we only use a warp down here once, and that's the second time we come back down.
Gotcha.
All right, grabbing this VHS tape, which will be very important for one of the more difficult glitches in the game. I'm grabbing all these keys because we need to take them back up.
There's a bunch of like placed items you have to grab.
Yep. There's let's see.
Okay.
After this, there'll be 1 more or 2 more items down here. There's a key that we walked right past before we basically up in this room right here. It's the water key. We'll grab that when we drop back down a second time.
Okay. Cool.
Let me do a little wiggle. Let's see. Okay, so now we're getting ready to do the VHS buffer, and that is an interesting skip because it like we're doing 2 things at once a little bit after a certain point, and you have to kind of like have an idea of the way this hallway looks. So I'll stop for a second just to let you take in the way this hallway looks because it's important to processing what's about to happen. All right, I'll go up here, and now we're going to do a third-person item buffer. This is sort of tricky. This took a minute for me to learn. When I used to do this, I had to I was doing it controller and mouse and keyboard because I could only do this on controller, but I figured out how to do it on mouse and keyboard a little better.
Oh,
Again, it's by using the map key instead of inventory. You notice it when you're doing it that it gives you just more of a window to get this right. So same thing as before as the door warp. You approach the TV, you open the map menu, and you see I've been prompted to use the videotape. So what we're going to do is we got the prompt. We're going to take this down here, and then we're going to hit F to go through this door. Okay, I want to make sure I have that prompt. Okay. And now a cutscene is going to start, but you'll notice you see these door interact buttons, which means we're wandering through that hallway we were just in.
You have to go back down and then over to the right and then
exactly all the way at the end of the hallway. And sometimes I like to wait here sometimes to make sure I don't. Sometimes you can get stuck if you go through the door at the end of the hallway too soon while the cutscene is loading. You can get stuck in that hallway with the two enemies attacking you. Oh, I need to now. I need to get the actual password for this safe. That won't be too hard.
Oh, nice. So you moved until it loaded into that like subway car, or was that still a cutscene?
So once it loaded into the subway car, you can't move anymore. Your controls are part of the cutscene there. Gotcha. That's an FPS segment you have to, or first person segment you have to do like manually. It's not like a cutscene necessarily, which I guess I said use misleading language there, but this password, it's an alphanumeric password, so I have to think about this. It's 52082, so that would be SNEFN. Yep. Okay, cool. I used to have that memorized. I rememorized it for this, and now my brain is broken again. I think of those numbers every time I see it. So we're going to do another door warp here. We're actually going to do 2 door warps in a row.
Okay.
So same input as before. We're in the south corridor. This next one is tricky. You approach the door. All right, you have to watch the door.
So the game like
I
loaded
missed it, but that's you still get to see how it works. I'm sorry, what were you about to say?
So it looked like you walked through without the game loading, but then eventually it like loaded the character in at the end of the hallway.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Or at least that hallway that are you talking about the cutscene where the cutscene is playing?
Oh no, I mean like just then.
Oh yeah, it's the same idea as that first door warp that we did. Where it changed rooms, but it didn't push Elster to automatically walk through. But because I didn't hit the map key immediately, I had to store these. Gotcha. It went like it just played the game normally or set it up. Oops, I'm going the wrong direction.
Got it.
Sweet, we didn't get hit. Getting hit can be kind of a crapshoot sometimes with those swings. And also, you could just collide with enemies in this, and it will hurt you, unlike some other survival horror games. I think that actually, that's one thing that turns some people off to the speedrun of this is the collision damage. A fun thing about this puzzle right here, always pull this before you put in the stuff here on the little pots, potentiometers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oop, that's 9. Whew, that was close. And then we're going to pick up these thermites. I stopped talking because for a minute I thought you were about to ask a question. My bad. I
was just thinking.
No, you're good. We could we could have done a warp off of that thing. People used to do it. Doesn't really save much time though. So not really any need to do it. I will say later, I think I'm going to show off exactly where I like to practice door warps when I first started learning them, because you can kind of just go in a circle. I think we're done with door warps for this level. There's one more item buffer and warp, and after that, we'll have our first boss fight.
Sweet. So the item buffer kind of works in a similar way to what the door warp does?
Almost identically, except a lot of the times you're in first person to do those. And like I said, those are much easier than anything you do in third person. I will say there are third person, there are third-person buffers that for items that you can do with the map key, and that, again, makes it infinitely easier. So now we're going to grab the water key, or at least more approachable. I don't want to say easier because it does take a minute. All right, so now we're wandering back through this hallway. We picked up the VHS here earlier, so we'll go up here. Okay, and now we're about to do our first item buffer, or well, at least the first one we're warping off of. So let's open up this vent.
An item buffer warp.
So we're doing an item buffer, and then off of that, we will do a warp when we load into the next room. I should have.
Oh, cool. Okay.
That. So there's an item buffer. Basically works the same way. We just hover our mouse over the item, and we open up the inventory. Let me do this real quick so I don't mess up the time.
Sure.
All right, and then we back out of the menu immediately and do the same thing where like you open the menu back up, but right after you push that button, you sort of chain the left click as well, like almost like a combo or something. I honestly kind of like to think about it like fighting game inputs because I love fighting games, and I don't know, it's easier to find like parallels to compare that way. I mean, I struggle to think of a fighting game input to compare to it, but you know, in terms of like the timing necessary and the way you have to think about it, it's an apt comparison as far as I'm concerned. So all right, here we're about to do what is referred to as the quick flare mina kill, or something like that. Basically what we're going to do is I'm going to drop down, sort of walk to the left and walk towards the boss and like push her back, and then we're going to toss a flare into her like visor. And if we do it right, it'll stop the boss fight immediately. So,
wait. So just one more time. So you walk down. You said backwards.
No, so we'll push her backwards a bit. Well, I'll walk to the left diagonally, and I'll walk back, or I'll walk I'll then turn right. I'll stop sprinting too and start pushing her backwards. And then if you get the timing right, sometimes you get a flare in there, but she has to like fall down and throw a temper tantrum. Because you set her on fire, sometimes if you get the timing right, the boss fight immediately ends, and you can skip the cutscene. So let's do that.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really awesome. This is one of the harder things to learn, though. We didn't get it, but we did. Well, I mean, we got the flare in there, but we didn't get the quick flare. I got it at GDQ. I was wondering if I'd get it here, but that's okay. So we just gotta wait this out. It shouldn't take too long. Normally, when she falls to her knees like this, you would have to shoot your gun at her, and there'd be like these like little damaging things on the ground that like little puddles of blood that honestly look like they have snakes coming out of them. And you have to sort of keep your distance.
But you didn't have to. Why didn't you have to?
Because the flare just does kill, like takes her out automatically. All flares, with the exception of the last boss, all flares can kill all bosses, or all bosses can be killed by flares in one hit. Which is really great for the speed run. And it's not really explicitly said by any of like the notes you read or anything, but it apparently is intended. The flares have a lot of burning them to death outside of just like setting enemies on fire once they're down, kind of like Resident Evil 1 with Crimson Heads and stuff, where you'd want to just clear them out, otherwise they'll get back up. But we use them for different reasons in the speedrun.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Flares are
seems like a very handy tool.
Yeah, oh my god. They're one might call them OP. So we're gonna do another door warp here. This is where I love to practice door warps, by the way. So
in this spot.
Yes, I'll show you why. So now we're warping through a room. Normally we'd have to go through 3 rooms here. You'll see them right here. Well, if I can get it. There it is. So now we're back here, and I'll warp to the top up here. And this one's tricky because you can't see the door. There we go. And now we'll warp, I think, right here. Eventually.
You're walking right now?
I'm not even walking. It just teleports Elster to like a spawn point in the room. It's like the default spawn point.
Okay, gotcha.
So now we're gonna go back to the way we went before. Well, we're gonna try to, and then I'm gonna mess it up the first time. Again, you only want to do this particular warp here. The others are just practice warps to get the timing down. These 2 right here, you don't need to do. They're just like a way to practice the trick like constantly. Also, you'll notice it adds this audio artifact. It's a little annoying. It's kind of like a low pass filter. And like it just kind of makes everything sound like it's underwater for the rest of the game. But, for the sake of the run, for the sake of going fast. Of
course.
So I'm going to grab this fuse up here. If you time it right, and I didn't, you can pick up the fuse and push the Yule at the same time. Oh, sweet. We only took a bit of damage. That's good. And then you can turn around and walk back up the walkway. You can sort of kite the Yule attacking. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
How do you see how much damage you've sustained in the menu?
Yes, in the tab. Or it's tab. It's in the inventory. I just always think in buttons. So you can see right there, I'm yellow. That's That's sort of
very Resident Evil.
Yeah, I'm okay for right now. It's I believe one could say just like if in Resident Evil terms like caution, I guess.
Right.
And the last health state, I believe it's completely red, and I think if you can get damaged about like 3 times in that state, depending on the damage, I guess. And if you don't get hit for a while, once you get into that last state of just like critical health, Elsa will regenerate, I think, up to like 25% of it. Oops, about to go somewhere I don't need to go. So let's go this way. Basically going back to the same area we were. All right. Let's not bother the star. I'm sorry. That's a star unit. All of the units also in Signalis are named after the German words for birds. And I always butcher the pronunciation of most of them.
That's cool. Okay.
So like starling. I forget. There's a colibri, which I don't know if that's... Okay. I should explain this once I actually get the glitch. Or not the glitch. This isn't really a glitch. This is apparently intended. Okay, cool. So, I'll explain that. That door, you normally have to have the flashlight to use because you can't see the door to interact with it. But flares have this really cool feature where once you burn an enemy, there's light that emanates off of the fire on the enemy, right? So, it allows you to see the door. Like, that actually counts as real light. It's not just like an effect. So, you can effectively just skip some flashlight sections, or sections where you would need the flashlight to interact with something. It's
cool.
I believe someone in the community referred to it as flash late, or at least dubbed it that. Oh, please don't hit me. Oh, okay, the enemy moved. That's great. Let's see. Let's go down here, and we'd use that twice here. Let's see. Yeah, we got the island key. Wait a second.
How many?
Actually,
how often do you tend to get a flare in the game?
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time? Cut off for a second.
How often do you get flares?
Flares. Let's see, that one puzzle with the, that one like the incinerator puzzle, there's some flares in there, and then there's some flares right when you come down this level. I'm jumping the gun here. I just need to grab that handle. So, sorry, I'm making sure I don't get hit there. So you get like 6 in the beginning, and I think that's all you need after that. So we're gonna go to this shutter over here and open the door. I'm trying to think. I think you only pick up those flares. You could use them on the last boss fight if you wanted to. I think it does like down Falk, but I'm not certain. Okay, by the way, this is a good place to offer a seizure warning. There is this room I'm about to go in is very noisy, both auditorily and visually. That first word is a word, so a heads up there. I'm gonna push this guy out of the way, and then here we go. I'm gonna try to make it bearable. These units, they mess with your like your systems, your computer systems, for lack of a better way to put it, and they mess with the like obviously your visual feedback.
Okay, it's over.
And yeah, it ends up right there, so it doesn't take too long to get through there. And then we just need to go here. So yeah, that only happens about, I want to say 3 or 4 rooms. I could be undershooting that by 1 or 2, but I'm pretty sure it's not very much. But it can be very off-putting, to say the least. So, all right, now we just grabbed the tape we're going to need for a second. We're going to use it pretty quickly. Another puzzle that requires the use of adhesive tape. Because that tape is broken. So we're getting ready to do another door warp. We actually used to do an item buffer here instead, and then use that to warp. But and we're also going to use a flare to open the door, right,
because you can't see it at the moment.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very hard to see. In fact, this can be difficult to execute sometimes. Oh, please don't be too far from the door. Okay, you aren't. Sometimes if you're too far from the door, or if the enemy dies too far from the door, you just don't, like, if the light doesn't count or doesn't register. All right, this is another door warp. Oop, there we go. This one's really nice because you spawn right there and you can just walk right out.
And you're just out. That's cool.
Hello, ladies. I won't bother you in here. Let's. Okay, so now we're going to the radio broadcast area. Oh yes, I love when they're spaced like this. Makes entering that door so much easier. Okay, so now we're gonna use some more adhesive tape. And there we go. And let's see. Okay, we're not on the station we need yet. Let's move there. And now we're going back down to that area where I got the shutter gate handle. Let's Let's see.
Right. Okay.
And
Right.
this, so it would be really nice if we didn't have to go through the rigmarole of getting this, the thing we need to get this key. Let me change to the right radio station. It's 142. And turning this radio station on and having that tape playing is what makes this owl's head open. You're about to see a skip in a little while that I wish we could use the same, employ the same strategy for this thing. It's called the admin key skip. We have a few more rooms before we get there, but it's something that the new patch removed. It tightened up all the interact windows, but I'll explain as we get there. And then my comment about wanting that same exploit for the owl head will make a little bit more sense. All right, you will don't hit me, please. Thank you.
So I totally said Swan Princess when my brain was trying to say Swan Lake.
I thought you said Spawn Princess, which I feel like I could call Elster that after all of the door warping she does.
Is it called Swan Lake? Isn't that what it's called?
That's a good question. I actually don't know. I've heard that song so many times, and I know I recognize it. So just to jump back here real quick, this is the admin key skip. Ooh, I just hit start. 1 second. Okay, so something important to note here. Notice there's I can't open this. I just go in. There's a little knob here. There's nothing I can do. I don't have the little the actual thing that goes in there to do the puzzle. But you'll notice, if I move my mouse down here, I can grab something, and it's the admin key. So we just skipped an entire series of puzzles. That's honestly a really cool series of puzzles, but
you don't have time for that.
No, we don't. Come on. Yeah, I can interact with this door. You are lying. There we go. So it acts like you can't open that door without the light on, but there's a small little box where you can.
Yes. Well, the other box acted like you couldn't get inside of it until the corner of it said no.
Exactly. Yeah. It was very rude. All right. And with that, we're moving on to the mines, which is probably the shortest section of the game. It's a nice little walk. I mean, it can be longer if you're playing the game normally, but the speedrun, we're in and out of there almost as quickly as the first area we started.
Gotcha. What's our character trying to do at the moment?
So Elster is looking for her her partner, her basically in the world of Signalis, there are these ships that are sent to survey the galaxy and look for places with resources, and they're always in pairs of two. There's an Elster unit, that's an android unit that's specifically for engineering, and then there's a human and a specific type of human referred to as a Gestalt. At first, I thought a Gestalt was just the name for human in the Signalis universe, but I feel like there is some debate over that. I don't know for sure. I don't want to act like I know definitively because I honestly don't. But that being said, it is an android and a human just to be playing. And when you start the game, your particular partner is missing from the ship. You're you open her up the hibernation pod, and she's just not there. So the main objective is to look for this girl. And you find out, without spoiling it, through different little sections of the game that we're not always looking for the same girl. It's a little convoluted, but not in a poor writing sense. It's there's a lot more going on here than just one Elster's perspective.
Oh, sure.
It's very cosmic horror-y, I would say. I mean, literally, there's the King in Yellow is a book in the game.
Oh,
and
cool.
There's excerpts from it, supposedly. All right, so what we're doing is grabbing some heals to... Ooh, that doesn't look good, but we're good. We're fine. We can heal right now, and we'll equip this flashlight because we'll need it later. And now we're just going to dodge until we go... until this door opens up all the way. And let's see. All right, so now we should be able to jump down there. Sometimes if you're standing right there next to the door when it opens, it very much like a door wiggle. You just won't get the prompt if you click too soon. It's very frustrating. So I just like to do a little dance until it's been up for maybe a second or so.
Yeah, for sure.
So now we're entering the bane of every speedrunner's runs of these games. The mandatory sort of I want to say a minute and 50, 2 minute section. I might be overshooting that. Of like you're on this beach. It's a contemplative area, I would say. There's like these little papers all over the place you can read. At one point, I believe some of them have excerpts from, or supposedly have excerpts from The King in Yellow. So that's fascinating. And also some of them I think are written from a character's perspective. One of the characters in the game that supposedly came here. So now what I'm doing is just scaling this wall that's supposed to be unscalable, to just to see what's on the other side. Why not?
Interesting. I was like, are you supposed to climb?
Oh no, this reminds me of a particular part in Ocarina of Time, near the Hyrule Temple, or not the Hyrule Temple, near the castle, where you can sort of climb up a corner of like the geometry of the map and just sort of go out of bounds. But this serves no purpose other than curiosity. And it is cool that there's anything over there. I'm like surprised there's any like actual like floor rendered in over here, and it's not just digital. It's not just there or like culled. You'll notice some weirdness once we get up there. But you can kind of see a part of the skybox that's a little ominous looking. It almost looks like there's these weird shapes. Hopefully we can get up there before the cutscenes stops. Let's see, we're almost up the slope.
Was there supposed to be like a whole thing playing down below?
There's not even anything happening down there. There's like I said, there's some notes you can look at, but that's it. Like it's just sort of like, you can wander around and look at stuff.
But it's just like a timed once you do everything.
Exactly. Well, not even not like you could miss stuff that's on the beach. It's not necessary to read it or anything. But
like it's a timed thing. Yeah. It doesn't let you finish an objective. It's just like there. You on the beach until
it's pure aesthetic, like vibe, I guess, for lack of a better way.
There
to put
it is.
So yeah, now this is over, and now we're entering an area that is literally called Nowhere, which you can kind of tell. They do wear their Silent Hill inspo on their sleeves, and I mean, I'm a fan of that. I love Silent Hill. But we're going to do a graded door skip here. This is definitely not intended. They took this out with a new patch. Let's see. There it is. So if we highlight the corner right here, you'll see we get the door interact prompt. So we're just going to go right through that door and not have to do the little graded door grate puzzle. It's very, very convenient. I want to shout out Makide, he's the second place runner on the leaderboard. He has reminded me many times about those when I had forgotten. So just throwing that out there, and now running through this hallway to not get annihilated. Oh, another seizure warning. It's not so bad right now. Once I get closer to these Calibri units, they're going to go nuts. Oh, and the storch hit me. How rude. Okay, and so we're about to do an item buffer into a warp that is one of the easier ones to do, honestly. So same thing, except it's a third-person item buffer and warp. Okay. The only thing that's tricky is sometimes you lose track of Elster because of the dialogue box. So you have to sort of like look at the prompts. So here we go. I'm going to click into that. And then immediately, once you get in there, you hit interact, and then you'll get stuck behind the door, and then you'll show up over here. Oh my gosh, I almost ran into her. Okay. So now we just keep going. All right. Gonna keep running through this hallway. We'll be back here when we're done with this area. All right, another hole to jump down. We'll be right back into that room. Let's gotta just grab this ring. And this will be another boss fight where we use the flare. I need to equip that flare.
Nice.
Very happy with the health
Ready to go.
Now. Okay. I wonder if we can get this. Sometimes you can flare her before she hits you, but it's pretty rare. Okay. I always bring this up. Fun fact, this gun that Issa has right here, it is a Nitro Express. For some reason, they just have those in this universe. I don't know why. I play a lot of Hunt Showdown, so it's weird to see it anywhere that isn't here, or that isn't there. Anyway. So, and then we're going to get this screen. Okay, so same deal with this graded door here. We can skip it. We find the right place to highlight. There we go.
Okay, so that's just literally like there's a thing you can click on.
Yeah, it's like basically the interact like like prompt is sort of, it's mapped in such a way where if you're in the right spot and you turn Elster, like you can just open the door without even doing the puzzle that's in front of the door.
You can just do it, yeah. Gotcha.
So we're doing another item buffer here, and since it's first person, it's free. But again, really important. You always want it to be on yes when you open the door. Otherwise, you don't pick the item up.
Oh, gotcha.
So sometimes you can accidentally do a warp there if you're not careful. And it doesn't like push you behind necessarily. Ah, darn it, we got stuck. So I like to, this is just a fun little fact. When I was learning the run and I was doing these passwords manually every time, I memorized the solutions by giving them all names. I refer to this one as Drunk W because this W is flipped over, and it's just, you know, I love my mnemonic devices. So
good way to do it.
it's very it's helpful, and there's only like 2 you have to memorize for the speed run, thankfully. I guess there is a third one where it could be a problem, but thankfully it isn't. Okay, so I'm gonna do something weird here to make sure I don't take damage, or rather take too much damage. I'm gonna do this. Oh, all right. Okay, and I'm gonna go back around here and grab this so I can heal. Okay, actually I could have grabbed those initially and it would have been fine. Okay, let's walk through here, and now we're gonna heal. And now we're good, because there's another puzzle just like this later, where it will be important to have as much health as possible. It's basically the identical type of room. There's barbed wire that you can't really see unless you have light on it. Oh, I almost got hit there. But since we're running the game, we don't want to take up too many inventory slots. Obviously, we don't bring the flashlight for that room. We just remember where to go. There are a couple of instances in each room of those barbed wire rooms where if you are quick enough after you get hit by one of the barbed wire like areas, you can get through the next one while you still have iframes from like getting damaged. But it can be kind of difficult. When you run the game enough, normally you'll get them pretty consistently. But I found sometimes I am surprised that I will still get hit, unfortunately. But hey, it's about, you got to roll with the punches.
Right.
So
I mean, as long as you have your proper backups or whatever you need to get that extra hit.
So we're gonna do another graded door skip, but we're gonna do the graded door skip into a door warp. If I can find the prompt, there we go. This one is probably the second best door up in the game, and you will see why. Long hallway. And when we come back, you'll see just how long that hallway is. It's amazing. Okay, so here we have the Silent Hill 2 puzzle. There's not really anything around it. The only difference is that there are 3 rings instead of 2. And now we're grabbing this plate. Let's go, go, go.
Nice.
All right.
It's very Silent Hill.
All right. So, boom. And we're walking around these guys. Let's see. And hopefully we don't have to do the door puzzle or the door grate puzzle. We'll see. Oh, well. This one. I actually don't have a mnemonic device for that one since it's so simple. Okay. So, all right. Here we go. And now we're about to be done with this area. So, let me miss this stuff. Oh, no. All good. We're fine. We should still have enough health for this. So this is another graded door skip. I just like to walk straight into it. That one is definitely the easiest to hit right consistently without having to stop.
Cool.
There's a lot. It's amazing how much of the run centers around you just having good mouse placement. See there, you can actually avoid getting that barbed wire damage if you're quick enough to get the to get back while you're recovering. Okay, let's try not to get hit here. Although it kind of doesn't matter because we're gonna get healed automatically in a certain right after we get out of this section. So there's actually a fake out ending here. I watched a number of people, I feel like, when they first played this game, think this was the very last level. Which, I guess if you take long enough in the earlier sections, it really does feel kind of final.
It does feel like it,
in Silent Hill 1, like nowhere is the last place you go. So right, so it's definitely understandable. I'm gonna skip all this. That was an image of one of the people you're looking for, one of your partners essentially, in a particular version of this universe. Okay, and so now we're back to the main menu, and you'll notice it's changed. The Elster looks pretty messed up. In the cutscene we skipped, there's a cool Ghost in the Shell reference. All right, and now we're back on the Penrose, which we missed earlier because I didn't start there, and we're playing as Elster, but she has a little hat.
Little hat on.
And so we're gonna just do since we're an engineer android, we got to do our little diagnostics checks, and we're just checking out the pilot chamber up there. We're gonna go up here, And
So this is still part of the any percent.
yeah, it is actually. There's not really any way to skip any of this, unfortunately, as far as like doing warps or anything is concerned. I'd be great if there was. There are a couple of sections in Signalis that would be awesome if there was something that exists to get through them, like the unskippable little like FPS segment,
Right.
or the last room, like hallway in the game before the last boss is if we could figure out how to get through that room via warp somehow, we know for a fact the spawn point in there that's like the default spawn point that every room has is it's like right next to the door that goes into the boss room. So it would be fantastic if that was a thing we could do. But unfortunately, there's not a door you can go through in that room. It'll be easier to visualize this once I get there. But anyway, we're almost done with this section. You'll notice the ship is back to being dilapidated.
Oh, messed up. Yeah.
And now you'll notice we're back on the beach. We skip the cinematic, but we actually have an objective this time. There's a little boat over there. We're going to climb in. If I were to stop and read any of these notes, I believe a lot of these notes are supposed to be excerpts from The King in Yellow.
Interesting.
And
we're going to that red light?
Yeah, that's like it's like a little lantern hanging on the edge of a boat.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, actually.
Are you going at a diagonal as well?
Oh, yes. All of these first-person segments where you walk at all, the same strategy applies. You want to walk diagonal so you can move quicker. Otherwise, it's just like so sluggish. All right. So now you'll notice we are. Well, you wouldn't have seen this room yet, but once we get through this room, you'll start to recognize where we are. It'll look kind of familiar to the place we started. Okay, never mind. 2 more rooms to go through. Let's see. Once we get into here, all right. Here's where we started earlier. Oh yeah, it's gross. It's gonna get meatier as we move forward. So just fair warning there. All right, we'll equip that. Let's see. Okie dokie. So same password 204512. The hint for that is actually written on the blackboard next to this vault. It says, I believe it says you've been here before. I would read it in German if I could speak German, but unfortunately, I should also admit, the devs are German, or at least I believe that they reside there. Hence a lot of the
that would make
German
sense.
language. A lot of like German and I believe Chinese all throughout the game. It's a very like the way they amalgamate a lot of different things is fascinating.
Yeah. Okay, in another hole.
Yep, another one. Okay. So this is the last area of the game. Depending on how quickly we get through this, I may just like show off a few things and then just go to the last boss fight.
Sure.
Because honestly, you've seen all of the tech we do for the most part. And I do see that, we're approaching 45 minutes, but it shouldn't take too long. So now we're just running through here. We needed the flashlight because this room, as you can see, is dark as heck. But we're going to grab this photo developing tank, and now we move up here, and we're done with that room. We're never going back, thank goodness. And now we're going to go up here to this wheel. I like to get the storage to come down here first, so it doesn't immediately... Oh, well, it might do that, though, unfortunately, but we'll just push her out of the way. All right, let's see if we can get... Oh, sweet. Wow.
Long face.
I don't want... Not to use a cliche, but they don't normally spawn there like that so conveniently.
That's great.
So that's nice. All right, here's the door warp. All right, this hallway we warp through a lot.
Past this hallway.
A very useful warp there.
That's cool.
I guess a lot.
Yeah, that was fast.
We go through it. We warp through it twice, but we probably are in there at least 4 times. So now we got to grab this blue diskette.
We'll be returning to that.
Oh, yes. More here later. Okay, so, and I believe this next item buff, third-person item buffer, is the last one we do in the game. There will be other warps and stuff, but that's the last one we do in third person. All right, so I love that one. Okay.
Oh, that's cool. I see.
So now we go back through here, and we're gonna walk through it again. Same deal. I like to sort of kite the attack there so we can dodge it on the bottom. You can kind of keep track.
You always have to walk through manually to the left, and then you warp back to the
Yes,
right?
that's what we're about to do, exactly. So we're going to do an item buffer off of this card. Again, these first-person ones are free. So making sure we have yes highlighted, open the door, and then immediately hit interact. That one's a pretty generous interact prompt. You could kind of be late on it, and it most of the time is fine. We're picking up a gun, finally. We don't normally use guns in this run.
Yay.
So it's nice to finally have some protection, but it's also nice not to be violent the whole time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I think that's enough. Okay, there we go. And what we're doing is this will be later, or this will be useful later for a particular puzzle. Well, I say useful. You can't get through that puzzle without doing it. So
Okay. Necessary.
yes. So
Okay.
let's see. I'm trying to think. There's one more place we do a warp. And I think what we'll do is we'll get to that point, and then from there, I'll just go into debug mode and I'll load the last boss fight to show you the last bit of tech. Because everything else here is pretty much like just you're playing the game quickly. Like, I don't want to linger too long and stuff.
Okay.
Plus, I don't want to I don't want to spoil stuff if I don't have to. Did I? I did pick that up, right? Yeah. Okay. That prompt made me second guess
You want
myself.
people to go play this game. Hope somebody's seeing this for the first time and wants to go play it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over the loud Calibri noises.
Over the screaming.
Exactly. Let's see, I don't need anything else there.
I was just saying, I'm hoping somebody sees this and wants to go play it now.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think I could recommend any game more than I recommend Signalis. Even if you don't want to play survival horror games, I will say the main hurdle for a lot of people is the inventory space. You only get 6 slots, like Chris in RE1. So it could be a little frustrating, but I think with a little patience, it's surmountable. All right, so we're gonna use that buffer, and there we go. That's the last buffer. At least that I can think of. Oh, wow, that's rare. Where you push and open the door at the same time. It's definitely possible. Cool. I've done it a couple of times, but all right. So I'll show you this puzzle, and then I'll probably just use debug to go to the last boss, so we can show that off, because there is some tech I want to explain there that would be useful.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, US. Oh wait, we already have it on. Cool. Ha! Awesome. So let's do go to fault. Room, I think. Actually, we may have to go to the end. But let me just do it this way. Intruder. So this is the debug menu. You can use to just jump around. It's really useful for for getting through the game quickly and practicing it if you want to. Different sections. So let's do that, and then what we're gonna do is box all of this over. Oh, I'm taking it out. Whoops. Getting ahead of myself. So let's just put all this stuff up, and I'll put store key up. We'll grab this. Actually, we have... Okay, cool. And I don't need to heal, so that's great. So, this hallway we're about to walk through, I'll use it to explain. This is the hallway I would wish we could warp through, but it's too long. Or, because it's too long, but there's no door we can door warp with, so unfortunately, that's not possible. Bummer. But, the Falk fight. So, what I'm about to do is... the fight will start. She'll, sort of rise up from her bed, and she'll get these spears that surround her. Once you damage her enough, she throws the spears down, and then she'll sort of become downed, playing Gears of War or something. For lack of a better reference, she's sort of just on the ground, and that's where you have to take a spear and stab her with it. But if you position yourself correctly, basically, if you're standing next to her when she throws the spears down, and she goes down with the spear next to her, you can quickly stab her with one spear, grab the spear that's next to her, and stab her again. It's called a double. And if you align it right, you can actually get through the fight very quickly. This is not the best, but okay, now that works. So we hit her a couple times, and now she's down. We're going to go to grab this. Oh, and we didn't get it. That's fine. I'm surprised she was right next to it. Okay, she already went down again, though. That's fine. All right, cool. So you notice we did that quick. Normally, a lot of times she'll call the spears back up before you can do it again, and they'll disappear, and you have to get her to throw them down again. She might do it right now. No, she didn't. Awesome. That's really nice. Cool. I'm surprised she hasn't called these back yet. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Not the best thing in the world, but hey, we might be able to get a double off of her. All right. I'm gonna just be safe here. Take out these enemies. It's not the most optimal thing in the world, but I also don't want to die.
Right.
Okay, she's sending the spears up. Sorry for the horrible graphic effect. Oh, this is not good. We're gonna try to make it work. Pick it up. She's gonna probably get up before I get there. Yeah, we got it. All right, we got a double at the end. It's an interesting.
Oh, sweet. Okay, I didn't see that, but
it was really
cool.
hard to see, but she was like in the darkness in the corner. Sometimes when she's in those corners, she's invulnerable. So glad that didn't happen.
So she got
but yeah,
stabbed a bunch.
So ideally you get through that fight in 1 minute, but it's very possible to do that and even less. But unfortunately, she didn't give us the most optimal thing in the world. But hey, we got it. So this is the end of the game. We are going home, as it were. I'm gonna skip this ending so you don't have to see any of it. I want it to be fresh for anyone that's seeing it for the first time.
No, I'm curious.
There are, I believe, 4 endings, and one of them is really esoteric and hard to get. So
Is it worth it? The esoteric
oh,
one.
for sure, yeah. It's actually cool because there's I cannot remember the name of the what it's called, but you have to use your like a community had to come together to figure it out because you can use this like radio frequency stuff to like I forget how it works. You can like visualize an image. You could get some sort of like, how do I put it? There's like something that plays over the radio, and if you have something running while you're listening to it, it like will show this image, and it shows where these weird items are located, and they can be used to interact or open up this alternate ending. That's very inscrutable, but it's hard to explain too. I wish I could remember the exact term for what it's called, but that's Signalis. Definitely a decent amount of door warping and item warping. I wish there were more like opportunities to use it, but a lot of the times, like I said, the spawn points aren't super conducive to like actually maintaining your forward momentum. But yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That was awesome. Okay. Well, yeah, you've definitely gotten me more curious about this game. Not that I'm good at playing anything scary ever, but definitely watching through stuff. So this is really, really neat. Yeah, if you all are curious or were curious about playing this or speedrunning this, here you go. Here is a great resource for you. You can always like watch through if you're just joining us now. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for coming on to show this off to Drucifer. I really appreciate it. And before I let you go and we bring on our next guest, please let us know where we can find you and what you're working on.
Sure.
What are you doing?
You can find me at YouTube on Drucifer Plays and Twitch, same name. I believe I'm on Twitter/X as Mr. Drucifer. And I'm on Instagram as CU Space Cowboy with a U for the letter or for the word, just like single like U. On my YouTube I upload my Let's Plays. I'm thinking about doing retrospectives as well, but I haven't actually I haven't gotten that plan together yet. And I also play music under Space Cowboy and other monikers occasionally. But yeah, those are the main things. Thank you all for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Fu, for the wonderful commentary. And yeah.
I was just hanging out, just talking about Swan Princess by accident. Don't worry
It's always
about me.
nice to do it. I like be able to do like these kinds of things with another person, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, with a buddy. Yeah, well, thank you again. Please go give Drucifer a follow and go check him out and the music and ask about this game. And yeah, and at the end of the show, we'll talk more about the indie horror, like Discord and all of that stuff, because this is like how we've organized these shows for today and for our next episode.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so we are going to bring out our next guest, but thank you so much again, Drucifer. You're awesome. This was really cool. And we'll be back in a few minutes with our next game and our next guest. So stick around if you want to see some nightmare creatures. I'm excited to see what that's all about.
Love that game so hard. I'm excited to see how it's run because
good.
Difficult game. And thank y'all for having me and good luck to the other runners.
Awesome. Good to know. All Alrighty, everyone, we are back with more Out of Bounds, and now we have another game. This is called Nightmare Creatures. Now, this is a new game for me as well. I'm so excited to like see all of these games and get to learn more about them. Again, if you are just joining us, hi, I'm Kungfufruitcup. This is Out of Bounds, and we are a glitch showcase style show. Today, we are featuring some indie horror games from the indie horror community, which is awesome. And now I have Kefka with me. Hi, Kefka. How's it going?
Hello, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. I just got some tea, and I had a lot of fun watching Drucifer show us how to do things in Signalis, like door warps and item buffers. So, haha, look at me. I sound all educated. It's great. We learn here on this show. It's so fun. Okay, so Nightmare Creatures. This is a game for the N64. I know essentially nothing about it. So can you tell me like a little bit about it, and then kind of like, you know, what got you into running this? Like, what brought you into the indie horror community?
Sure. So this is Nightmare Creatures, obviously, and it was released on the PlayStation 1, 64, and PC. I happen to be playing the 64 version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the reason for that is I've kind of always been known within my circles to run a lot of just niche 64 games as a whole. What got me into this game specifically, though, is when I was a little kid, I would go and spend the night with my aunt and uncle and play with my cousins and stuff. And my uncle had a Dreamcast, and on it he had a game that he wouldn't let us play. Naturally, when he would go to bed, we would sneak and get it and play it anyway. And it was right.
Of course.
It was Nightmare Creatures 2. So years later, about 10 years after I started speedrunning, I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, that game existed. That means there's a Nightmare Creatures 1. And I found out it was a 64 game. So I joined the Nightmare Creatures server, and nobody was working on the game at all. And at least on the 64, the PlayStation version had some traction. And I was just like, you know what? I'll tackle this and figure it out. And I did. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of help from Run in a Week. Shout outs to Run, who helped me figure out some of the glitches and stuff you're going to see here today, or really one huge glitch that essentially breaks the game in half, but we'll get to that. Obviously.
Oh, great.
So, yeah.
Sweet. Okay, I love that. That's such a fun story. Okay, cool. Well, now I'm just like, I've never even, I don't know, I'm like, oh, I love the N64, so many good games. Let's talk about all this. Never heard of Nightmare Creatures. So I'm pumped to see what this is all about. Okay. To get us into it, I want to see this game being broken. I'm going to let you count us in. And as always, I will be here on the side looking at chat, asking questions, etc. So yeah, take it away. Bring us into it.
Sounds wonderful. So before we get started, though, there's a couple housekeeping things that I want to just kind of disclose about what you're all going to see here today. First of all, there is a thing in the game called adrenaline. And what it does is, once your adrenaline bar runs out and it just slowly depletes as soon as you're playing the game, you start to lose health. I have turned it off for this, just so that we can stop and explain some of the glitches and stuff and not be on a clock, so to speak. The second thing I want to disclose is I also have another mode on called Unlimited, which gives me unlimited lives and such. It'll allow me to just show off some things without too much of a worry. But for a legitimate leaderboard speedrun, these things would not be allowed. But I just wanted to disclose that they were on for the sake of demonstration. So,
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, in this show, like we have people come on and they're like using save states. They're using like I've had some task stuff. Like it doesn't matter. Like we're fine. I just want to see the game being broken and learn about how it works or why it happens or kind of whatever the info you have to share. And then if you can use stuff in a run.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, totally cool.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started then. There are two characters, Nadia and Ignatius. We're going to be playing as Ignatius. Nadia's kind of tricky. I'll get to that a little bit more into why that is later, but let's go ahead and start it up in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so the first level here is Chelsea, and just running around, you can see this game runs at a whopping 5 frames per second sometimes, because, early 3D, it's lovely. But running around, you got a zombie. What we're normally supposed to do here is we're supposed to walk down into this little cellar area here and hit a switch and yada, 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 and fight this thing. Yeah, we're not going to do any of that. Instead, we're going to get straight into the glitches. Now, I quit back out, so we can just go right back into the first level and not deal with that, but I figured I would show where you're normally supposed to go. Instead, we're going to go straight into this wall right here. And fun fact, true to the name of this show, Out of Bounds, there are no walls in this game whatsoever. Not really.
Oh, yay.
Exactly, right? So, in order to do this, it's really simple, and it works a little differently in the PS1 version, but if you just simply press forward and then start and then unpause, you're through the wall. Check that out. So now we're
Okay.
yeah, now we're officially out of bounds, and we can just run around the whole level and go straight to the end trigger. There is one other thing though. Directly above me, it's kind of hard to see right now, there's a piece of geometry, and on the 64 version, for some reason, when you walk under a piece of geometry from out of bounds or above it, the game up or down warps you to just be on that plane, if that makes any sense. So when I take a step forward here, you'll notice, boop, all of a sudden we're upward up here. So we're just going to hop on out of bounds, and I'm hopping very intentionally. Hopping is a little bit faster when you've got a good straightaway. And we're going to walk over here, and you can see there's a pool of water next to me. It's like a whole lake. Water is bad in this game. If we walk over top of this water, we'll fall in and we'll drown. And if we walk below it, we'll upwarp into it and drown. That's different that's different on the PlayStation version for some reason. You can just run straight under it. But yeah, we're just going to hop around it in the 64 version here and work our way around. Oh yeah, this game is full of out of bounds, by the way.
I love it.
So coming right here, if I was to jump down over this hallway, for example, I would get downward directly into it. We're not going to do that. We're going to jump over it like this, and then just walk here and poof, downward into the end of the level. The level's finished. So that's it.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
How many levels are in this game?
20. And some of them are like, some of the world records for the individual levels are less than 10 seconds. If that tells you anything.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Wow, okay.
So at the end of each level, there's a text crawl. You can hold A to make it go faster. The PlayStation version differs there a little in that there's like a cutscene. But yeah. So here's the second level, Spittlefield. We're going to jump up onto this box, and there's a very specific reason for that. And then we're going to do the tried and true method of just going through the wall. And we're going to head off in this direction into the void. And coming in this direction, you'll see this guy standing here. This is Crowley. Everybody say hi, Crowley.
Hi, Crowley.
So this is the final boss, and the lore of this game is essentially that this guy is making a bunch of like, genetic, scientific nightmare creature monster experiments, and he's released them all over London, and he's trying to take over the world. We need to stop this guy. Now, normally if we were inbounds here, a cutscene would trigger where he runs away because we're trying to pursue him across London and other various locations, but yeah, we don't really care about that right now. Instead, we're just going to walk over here where the end of the level is, and there's a window here, and the reason we warped out of bounds on top of the box is because it gave us height just enough to jump through this window and go, boop, and the level's just over. That's it. Yep.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So those of you who played this and remember how difficult it is fighting all the enemies, I'm going to go ahead and spoil something. We're really not going to be fighting it much at all in this. So here's Tim's tunnel. Go ahead.
As long as you find like a corner, you can just get out of bounds.
It doesn't even necessarily have to be a corner, and you'll see that later. Corners work a little bit better. And the way this glitch works, though, is when I press forward and then pause, the game is the walls unrender essentially, and when I unpause, the game can't find my location, so it launches me in sort of just whatever direction. Sometimes it'll launch me backwards. Other times it'll launch me up. Like in this situation, we went above the map. Like this is where the opening cutscene was. You're never supposed to be here, obviously. So it just sort of varies. And finding better places to go out of bounds has kind of been the name of this speedrun, honestly. But anyway, Tim's Tunnel, pretty basic level as a whole. You just run straight to the end, out of bounds. And once we get there, we just fall back in from a down warp like so, and the level's over. So,
perfect.
Coming into the next level, and this is pretty interesting, it's our first boss. This is Sewer Snake. And what you normally have to do is you have to knock down all these pillars and hit Sewer Snake with each of them, and once that happens, you enter the second phase of the fight, and Sewer Snake will actually lower his head so you can hit him and defeat him properly. About 2 months ago, a runner discovered a way to do this fight much faster, and I need quiet just for a second, I have to count. But in this game, you can buffer inputs going into levels, in particular your jump buttons and your quick turns and things like that. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do is we're going to buffer jumping left 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. We're going to knock down that pillar. Then we're going to jump, hit, jump, hit, jump, hit, jump, hit, and he's dead. So that's the whole fight.
Oh my gosh. It's
probably one of the hardest bosses in the game casually, and it's just, we turn it into a joke. It's great.
You just destroyed it.
The best part is it's just as easy on hard mode. So it's, cool.
Wow.
So here's India Docks, shortest level in the game, just about. We're going to come to this corner. Anyway, so you'll notice there that when I tried to do the glitch, it shot me to the left. Basically, my positioning was just slightly off, which can happen pretty easily, especially when you're trying to glitch into a flat wall instead of a corner. But some corners don't want to work quite as well as others either, and this is one of them. This is a pretty big early game reset point because of how sort of finicky it can be to get out of bounds here. But if you do get out of bounds quickly, you can beat this level in like 7 seconds. That should tell you that the end is, right past this.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's why you want to get to this corner specifically, or just because it's the easiest to get out of bounds with?
Actually, it's kind of one of the harder places to get out of bounds here, in my opinion. But it's also the quickest location if you get to click quickly. So let's just try to go through this wall instead. Yeah, cool, that worked. Yeah. So like I said, there's no walls really. So the end of the level is literally right here. And if you look here, there's like this opening in the wall. Uh-oh, this guy's kind of aggroed in. That's got me a little worried. Oh, well, he'll be all right. Anyway, when we walk right here, whoop, we just upwarp back into bounds. We just come around this corner, and level's over. Done. Yep, that's it.
I just imagine this game is just a bunch of cardboard walls that have been put up. Like, if you've ever seen the movie like Blazing Saddles, when they make a whole fake town and like, walk behind a building and nothing's there. It's not like an actual building. That's what this is making me think of.
Oh, it basically is that. So this is Highgate Cemetery, and this has actually got something really recent in it. There was a new route discovered in this level like 3 weeks ago, but used to we would run straight in this direction out of bounds and kind of take a bridge over and do like 4 clips to get back in. Yeah, we don't need to do any of that anymore because the new route got discovered just actually by Mild Goth Daddy, who I think is in the chat. Shout out to Mild Goth Daddy, but clip through the wall there, and then we clip through this gate. This gate can be a little weird, but we got it there. Also, everybody say hi to Crowley again. He's over there waiting for us to trigger a cutscene that we're not going to trigger. And
hi, Crowley.
And we're just gonna jump into the door, and that's Highgate Cemetery.
Bye, Crowley.
Hey, bye, Crowley. So, coming into the next level, let's see what we got here. Okay, this is Hampstead Heath. We call it something much more profane in my chat because this is a pretty big run killer. But you want to get out of bounds quickly, and the clips in this level can be pretty odd. So that was really good. I got a second try. Then we're going to run in this direction here, and there's a couple different ways to do this level with varying results in terms of time loss and stuff. But what we're going to do here is, if you can look there, you can see that monster just standing there doing nothing. That monster is part of a cutscene, and we're never going to trigger the cutscene, so he's just frozen in time forever. Poor guy. But we're going to just run around him here, and you'll see this big tentacle monster over here. Check that guy out. He's pretty wild looking, isn't he? But we're just going to pull him off screen, and when monsters are off screen in this game, they don't exist. So, yeah. You'll be seeing that some. Anyway, we're going to come to this wall here, go straight through, run around and upward, and down into this plaza. And here's where this level can get tricky in terms of resets. When we glitch through this wall here, it upwarps us, and we need to go to this dock down here. You can probably just barely see Crowley standing down there on the edge of the dock. We need to go down to that dock, and if we land in the water, we'll drown. And the geometry here is a little tricky, but so we did mess it up there. And what happened is we just sort of, whoa, goodness, where has the game put me? I don't know where I am. This is interesting. So some of the, we're back. Okay.
Okay,
cool.
great.
And nice, we made it. All right, let's go. So that was fun. That's never happened before.
Well, the end of the level. Wow, the end of the level is just the end of that dock. That's so funny. So,
yeah,
do we watch any cutscenes in this game, in this run?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, not at all. So this is Queen Height Docks. As soon as we run forward, this big blue monster thing is going to jump out and try to hit us. So we're going to run slightly to the right instead, and he's just going to miss. And then you'd think he would come over here and attack us, but because he's off screen, he doesn't exist. So we can just do our clip, and it upwarps us. And we're going to run around this corner here. This is one of the longer levels in the game in terms of out of bound navigation. Now, you'll notice that sometimes I'm running, sometimes I'm jumping. The reason for that, jumping is faster, but you can't really turn very well when jumping. So I tend to save jumping for straightaways, you know. But you can see here, we're quite a bit out of bounds. There's just some stuff going on over there. Who cares? It doesn't matter. And then we're gonna come over here, and we're gonna stand in this corner, and we're gonna jump in and hope these guys don't get us. Okay, they didn't. And we're gonna run straight over to this boat, and that's the level.
Amazing. So have you ever done glitchless for this?
I have not. There are some people who run glitchless. Glitchless is more common to be done with the other character, and the reason for that is Nadia moves a lot faster, and her combat just feels a lot better.
Sure. Okay.
She's also extremely difficult to glitch out of bounds with because her hitbox is slightly different. But anyway, this is City. We spend the most amount of time inbound on this level when we run. You'll notice a monster there. We're just going to turn him off screen so, you know, doesn't exist. And we're going to run straight down this street and over here into this wall. Now, this is one of the trickier out of bounds clips in the game, for sure. Okay, I got it second try. That was really good. Cool. I expected to be there actually for about 10 or 15 seconds for sure. And then the end of the level is just here. It's behind this gate. Done.
So okay, wait. Oh, a question with the enemies, because you were saying this earlier, but it sounds similar. I just had slide 2 on, and if you walk in a certain direction in that, and you keep the camera away from where enemies would spawn or move, they don't ever spawn in. So does this have something similar where as soon as like the enemy's like off screen or you walk in before they spawn, you don't see it, like just don't ever appear? Or
yep, that is correct. If you have their spawn points off screen, they'll just never spawn in at all.
Okay.
Yep. So this is Smithfield, one of the other shortest levels in the game. There's a couple different routes people take. Some people like to clip through this gate and then clip through the door. Some people like to try to go over there and clip through that wall. Very tricky spot. And the reason for that is if there's 2 walls that are very close together, the game will have a hard time displacing you through both of them. So we like to try to clip through walls that are just one sort of scene, if that makes any sense at all.
One at a time.
So yeah, like right here, this is where I personally prefer to clip. And we just run around this corner. And you'll see right here, there's like a little divot in the geometry here that's just has no collision. We can just go wee, and we're back in bounds. And the end of the level's literally right here. Interestingly, there's an invisible wall here for some reason. So the way we usually do this is we'll just run here and we'll just do a side hop. Man, the level stinks.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
So unlimited, the mode I had on for the sake of demonstration, breaks this boss. This is Snowman. Snowman is just going to throw big snowballs at us. We can dodge. But what you're normally supposed to do is you're supposed to walk around the area and collect 6 pieces of dynamite. And you don't even have to hit Snowman with the dynamite. If you just throw it on the ground, it'll blow up those barrels of TNT that you see on the other side of the room. Yeah, you don't even have to hit him. You can throw them anywhere. Now, normally the challenge in this fight is dodging all the snowballs while simultaneously making sure to collect and throw the TNT. But since we're on unlimited, we can just kind of, blurt through this and just spam TNT because we have an unlimited amount. And it just completely breaks the fight. Now, this wouldn't be allowed in a speedrun, but since this is a showcase, it's kind of interesting to see, I suppose. People who may have had trouble with this boss in the past, you just, watch his delayed reaction as he falls over and just, oof,
Over and over. That's so funny. I love that.
Oh yeah, it's fabulous. This game's a very broken mess. It's great.
Of course a Yeti would be in the church. Why wouldn't a Yeti be in a church?
So we are in the back half of the game already, and I do have some more interesting kind of things coming up rather than just out of bounds. But before we get there, we got more out of bounds. So this level's kind of interesting. The first place we clip, we end up kind of between a bunch of stuff. And we need to work our way to the right. Now, the old route for this level, circa about 5 months ago, was to run all the way around the border of the level. So I discovered this new route here, where instead of having to run all the way around the level, clip an extra time or two there, and we can simply kind of take just a better path towards the end, but from out of bounds, which is always good. Cool.
How many clips have you been able to have you personally kind of found or added in or adjusted?
I've not actually counted, but I rerouted maybe And it's interesting because a lot of my routes apply to the PlayStation run as well. I rerouted probably half of the game in terms of just a lot of the out-of-bounds stuff. But getting back, so the end trigger for this level is right here between those two brick columns. And in order to get back inbounds, we could just clip, but we don't have to. If you look here, there's kind of this like archway thing in front of me. It's kind of hard to tell that's an archway. Once I get in, I'll show you. But you can just jump, and it just pushes you right back in bounds. Yeah, you can look and see it's kind of curved. And anytime there's a curved piece of geometry like that, if you can approach it from the top, the game will just downward you straight back in. So.
Oh, and there's the end. Okay, great.
Oh, yeah, and there's the end. Just right there.
So funny. So is that text, does it always go that fast, or are you like speeding through it?
You can hold A to speed it up. There are things that slow it down, and that will come into play later. And as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't exist in the PlayStation version at all. There's just cutscenes instead. The PlayStation version actually could have cutscenes. This version just gives you a little piece of text that tells what the cutscene does.
Oh gosh, okay.
Such and such happened, and such and such. It's kind of terrible, but I mean, 64.
Yeah.
So this is one of the more irritating out-of-bounds levels. There's actually a faster route you can do that I've been experimenting with a little here, but it's really tricky, and you have to clip like 3 extra times. And, the more of those there are, the more risk you have. But we're going to run over here first before going to the end of the level, because we need to say hi to Crowley again. Everybody say hi to Crowley. There he is.
Hi, Crowley.
He's waiting for a good old cutscene trigger that's never going to happen, just frozen in time. But this level is, much like the other. If we just come into this back area, there's an invisible wall here. Once we manage to clip through it, the level just simply ends. And this can be one of the trickier places to clip back in. This gate, it's a gate that we're trying to get through. Once the screen turns there, you can see it a little better. It's pretty tricky, actually, that one is. It just doesn't want to work sometimes. I don't really know why.
It's almost like you're not supposed to do that. It's not intended.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely Devin. So, this is Marlebon.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
This is Marlebon, one of the other shortest levels in the game, and we start off immediately by turning around and jumping across this water. And we're going to open this box here. Now, I don't technically need to do this because we're on Unlimited, but this is in the route. And we're going to grab this item here. It looks like a saw blade, and what that's called is a berserker. Now, the enemies in this game, and you're not really going to see much of this, unfortunately, but the enemies in this game, when you fight them, they can be kind of chopped into pieces, and there's blood and gore and such. And the enemies that are like that have a status within the game's code called cuttable. And when you use a berserker saw, it makes any enemy that has that status be cuttable in one attack. That's very useful later for a couple things we gotta fight. So we grab that there. Anyway, here in Marlebon, once we grab the saw, we just turn straight around and we just go through this wall. And we just charge forward. And, like I said, this game is a big out-of-bounds mess. Great. And the end is right here. You're normally supposed to get here a different way, but we're just going to run back into bounds and just walk over here and level 10. So
oh, wow. That doesn't even have a wall to go through. You just literally can walk.
Yeah, you just run right back in. So this is Bloomsbury, the last truly, really short level. If for beginners of this run, if you're on the 64 version, there's a safety health here, too, if you want to grab it. I did on my first few runs. But this level, super short. We just clip out of bounds right there. We charge forward until we see this area here. You can look, there's a ton of fire. There's a big red dog thing running around. I think they're called hellhounds. We don't. Normally you have to fight your way through all this stuff to get to this staircase right over here. Obviously, we're not going to do that. But one thing.
Crowley.
Yeah, there's Crowley as well. So one thing I wanted to mention, though, is if you notice when I'm looking at all this fire on all these sort of particle effects flying around, it really slows the game down. So when we go back into bounds here, as soon as we turn this corner, the level's going to end. But if we're facing the fire, it all gets on screen and it makes the text crawl go super slow. So a little time save I've found is to just side hop into the trigger, which keeps all the flame off screen, and the text crawl has its regular speed. Saves
nice. Okay.
Yeah, it saves like 6 seconds, but it seems worth mentioning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely a worthwhile time save. So it's that easy to do.
Yeah, exactly. So this is Pimlico. This is the level where we spend the longest amount of time out of bounds. But it starts off with us, of course, flipping out of bounds right here at this corner. And sometimes this level can be a little tricky, but we got it pretty quick there. Now, this level can be pretty scary running it starting off because you're out of bounds, just jumping in a direction for quite a while. And one thing I've not
Yeah.
mentioned is if you go too far out of bounds, like you just, you get lost and you're just wandering around, the game crashes. So,
Okay, sure.
yeah, so trying to take a good path sometimes can be tricky. Like right here, this is the end of the level. As soon as I clip into bounds here, the level's going to end. But if I would have not, taken a good path to be able to see this area and just kept heading in this, that direction there, the game just would have crashed. So
Sure.
that
And
so
how
that
does
that could be a
save-
little scary.
How does
for
the
sure.
save work here?
Say again?
Sorry. How do the saves work for this game?
The saves, if you have a controller pack, you can save your game, but the game also has password codes that allow you to just unlock every level, which makes it really easy to practice and run, actually. Like, super
Okay,
easy.
cool. Okay. I'm sorry. So go on.
So now we're getting ready to get to the objectively the best boss in the game, Jose Manuel.
Okay.
So Jose's pretty wild. There's been a variety of interesting... So he immediately hit me with a knife. There's nothing I could have done about that. It's just bad RNG. And I'm going to stand here for just a moment to explain how this fight normally works. So if you look directly in front of me, there's a switch on the wall. And when I hit the switch, it's going to raise a gate on the other side, like so. And then I have to go over there and hit that switch. And you have to do this cycle like 5 times or so, hitting both switches. If you look at Jose, the boss itself, there's like these two kind of gray walls. And what happens is our spikes slowly close in around Jose until they just completely emulsify him, pretty much. Now,
Okay.
I'm quitting back out and I'm going to go back into the boss. And the reason for that is because I have a very particular setup I do that allows us to skip all of that naturally. The reason we picked up, yes, of course. The reason we picked up the Berserker Saw earlier is for this boss specifically. Now, there's a couple different setups you can do that some riskier than others. I've found one that's really consistent where I run up here and I just fall into this fire on purpose and I get to continue. And the reason I do this is it gives me a very set position on the ground here and I can turn and kind of create a normalized position to do this. Anyway, once I use the saw, where you just, oh no, Crowley got me. Or not Crowley, Jose, sorry. I'm just going to, die again on purpose to get my position.
Okay.
Jump and attack, like so, and he's just dead. Just once. Because Jose gets emulsified by the spikes, he has the cuttable status activated. So if you just hit him once with the Berserker Saw, you just win. You can look, he's just a pair of legs now.
Oh my god. Weird.
Yeah, it just vanishes. So we're really close to the end of the game. There's literally 2 levels in the final boss left, actually. But this is This is Westminster. Westminster, like most levels, are some out of bounds shenanigans. But there are a couple other little things we got to do while we're here for the route. Thing number 1, we're going to say hi to Crowley one last time. There he is. Hi, Crowley.
Crowley.
But and if we're too far to the right in this doorway, it'll trigger a cutscene. So you want to kind of clip in on the left side here. Come into this corner and clip out of bounds. You'll notice there we got launched backwards twice. Kind of had the wrong angle. There we go. Then we're going to run over here and we're going to get upward into bounds on this staircase. We got to hit this bookshelf to open it. And the reason we have to hit the bookshelf is because we're going back in. And once you do that, it unlocks this item here, which is a strength upgrade. You'll notice my health bar turned blue. It gave us double health. We have a lot more strength now. We don't really care about the health, but the strength upgrade is very useful for the final boss. Currently, that's picked up in every route. In theory, you don't have to do it, but it's such a quick grab, and it just speeds up the end so much, Anyway, we go right back out of bounds. As soon as we grab it, we're back into the void. And we're already at the end of the level. Right here, just boop, we're back into bounds. And much like the other level with the fire particle effect, if you go forward here, there'll be some particle effects on screen, so I tend to just side hop into it so the text crawl has a regular speed instead of slow and laggy.
Nice.
And then we're into the final actual level of the game, which is Westminster 2. Now, this level is kind of a letdown, honestly. I don't know what it's like casually. I've only ever ran the glitch version of this run. But once we get out of bounds, we're just going to walk over here and upwarp into this hallway. We're going to come around the corner, and we're just going to run along the edge of it. You'll notice here there's a little bat guy trying to get to us. But he can't, because he doesn't know how to pause the game.
Right.
And we come around the corner, and this level's super short. So much so, look at this. This is the end, right here. That's it. 30 seconds.
Oh my gosh. Wait, is that the end of the game? No, there's a final boss.
there is a final boss, but I'm going to show off 2 things that are here, actually. Well,
Sweet.
technically 1 thing, but one of them is just fighting the boss. So, the first thing I want to show off is... Ooh, I just realized something. You know what? It's okay. Normally there's some quick kills you can do on these little guys. I sort of did my progression of things out of order here a little bit. I wanted to show off... I was thinking about showing off a glitch first, and then fighting the boss like normal. But I realized if I did that and quit out, I won't have my weapon upgrade. Oops.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't think about it. Not a big deal. We'll just get rid of these guys. And these enemies, you'll notice I'm using my Berserker song. Again, they're cuttable, so 1 hit gets... You'll notice I keep getting knocked over. It's because they have a little fire trail. There is a setup where you don't have to deal with any of that stuff at all. But because I just kind of forgot what I was doing, oops, sorry, we do have to deal with it a little. Anyway, Crowley then comes down, and we got to fight Crowley himself, but in sort of a demon form. Now, Crowley is weird. People lose so much time on this boss, and you can only hit him with combos. That's the first thing, and then he'll immediately attack back. And what you hope on is that Crowley won't start hopping around like a maniac, which he sometimes does. The fight is RNG, and it can get a little squirrely. I've seen runs die here many times. I've seen it go so well that it's spooky as well. Where it's like, why didn't Crowley do anything? It's just kind of complete luck of the draw. Right now, we're getting terrible luck naturally, as you would at an event of some sort. Yeah. He's just dancing around like an idiot. It's great.
The good thing is that you don't have to worry about time in this show. So.
Oh yeah, we're good. We're more than good. But figured we'd at least show off beating the game. But I do have one other thing to show after beating it that's in this level.
Sweet.
That's somewhat entertaining. I wish it was useful, but it's at least fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we like seeing the fun extra stuff as well. No, I think Crowley was just upset that we skipped by him so often, then he's just giving me bad RNG, so he's on screen more.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. He's like, bro, you even stopped to look at me and just taunt me. Like,
right.
Come on, Crowley. He's being really rough. Now you can block his attacks, but it's slower to do so we're not even really bothering. We're just trying to, get the attacks out in the fight. And there we go. And the timer technically ends for the main speed run when we do a roundhouse kick to his head. His head flies off.
Nice.
But yeah, that's the whole game of Nightmare Creatures. It's a really cool speed run, honestly. And then there are some cutscenes here at the end. We're just going to skip past those. But I want to show off one other thing in the game real quick, where, and this is something that was discovered kind of recently. I really wish it was useful, but it's just not. Unfortunately.
Okay.
You'll see here in this cutscene, Crowley's hanging on a tower. He sent his little bats after us. We're just going to let the bats fly around and do whatever it is they do. And then we're going to come right over here, and we're going to clip out of bounds in this corner. Now, this corner could be a little finicky to get out of bounds in. So if this was a thing, it would be a huge run killer, which, you got to love a run killer right at the end of the speed run. So that's always,
I know, right?
Yeah, that's always fun. Come on, Ignatius. Get through the wall. Come on. Yeah, the walls in this level, most of them are double seamed, making it a little finicky. There we go. Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, we got upwarp too. That's never happened before, but sure. So coming out of bounds here, we can take a look at some of this weird glitchy fire geometry. You can look at the fire effect. It's just a bunch of like GIF images that are just like preloaded in the back. It's great. But if we come in this direction, you'll see some bats flying under us there. And the reason they're there is because Crowley's over here. Say hi, Crowley. He's
oh my gosh, hi Crowley.
Yeah, this is the cutscene version of the boss that we saw at the beginning. These bats can't even attack you. And Crowley can, though. Interestingly, if we hit him, he will come off of that tower, and you can just have a big out-of-bounds void fight with Crowley.
What? What happens if you hit him?
Unfortunately, I mean, you can beat him and everything, but nothing happens. The game just continues on. It's It's
Is it like
super.
a duplicate of him?
Yeah, it's just a duplicate version of Crowley, just hanging out in the void over here, just chilling. You know, he's hopping around, he's doing his thing.
Oh my gosh.
So
goofy.
So yeah, and also when you come over here and you get all the bats and him on screen, the game runs at like -5 frames per second straight. But the very final thing I figured I'd show off is we'll just hop straight into the void here and we'll crash the game just for fun.
Oh, perfect. Yes, I want to see the game crash.
Yeah. And there we go. The game crashed.
Yay!
So that's Nightmare Creatures. It's a really cool speed run, honestly, especially if you like glitch-heavy speed runs, and there are glitchless versions that are more combat-focused. But
right. Oh,
yeah.
So I do have a question then with the other characters. So what's the difference between the characters in this speed run?
So Nadia runs a lot faster, and her combat is just a lot smoother and easier to do. That being said, if you're trying to do the glitched category, Nadia's hitbox is extremely messed up, for lack of a better term, and it makes it very difficult to clip out of bounds with her on any version of the game. It is also worth mentioning that the clipping method used in the 64 version is different in the PlayStation version. There's a different way to do the clips where you actually jump through the walls. So, you know, whatever version you get, you do have a way to do some glitchy nonsense, but they are different, which I think is kind of fascinating.
Cool. That's good to know. Okay. Cool. So between the two games, there's a different style to glitch. So like the same concept of like where you would go, you go out of bounds and run in the same area, but you have to like, but again, the water stuff is different and like getting out of bounds is different.
There's a few out of bounds paths that are different just because the PlayStation version doesn't have as many up and down warps, for example. In some cases, that means you can go faster actually because you can just run under the level. In some cases, it means you go slower because you can't up warp back in to bounds. There's some trade-off there for sure.
Gotcha. Well, that was awesome. I loved how broken that is, and I love how you're like, I don't know what happens on the when you play this casually. I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I'm really not. Sadly, I can tell you it's notoriously known as a very difficult game casually. The combat's very unresponsive. It's not smooth at all. But some people like it for that reason, you know, naturally.
Yeah. Well, it's super fun. Look, when we want broken games here on the show, we get broken games. So I appreciate you coming on and showing this off for us, Kefka. And if you all just want to like play a game where you can just basically hop through all the walls, here you go. This is the game for you. But thank you so much, Kefka. Tell us what you are up to and where we can find you, etc. Plug yourself.
Absolutely. So, you know, as you all have been aware, my name's Kefka14. I've been speedrunning for, you know, since like late 2012, a long time now.
Wow.
Do a lot of niche 64 games. Lately, I've been kind of messing with this game a lot the past few months or so. I've also been looking lately at Rocket Robot on Wheels. That being said, you can follow me on my Twitch over at, you know, twitch.tv /Kefka14. Love to see anybody over there. I'm always happy to help teach people runs. I'm always happy to help strategize and glitch hunt runs as well, or help even route entire runs. It's a passion of mine. So, you know, come say hello. And also, I wanted to give a shout out to the Nightmare Creatures community, Rep, Seth Jewel. Great guys, really wonderful community, super helpful. And yeah, again, thanks for having me. This has been wonderful.
Yeah, this is so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on. I loved it. I hope you all loved it too. Everybody say goodbye to Crowley.
Oh, one more thing. I wanted to thank the Indie Horror Speedruns community. I wasn't even a part of this community until this event started getting planned, and they were like, hey, we need a broken game, and they found this, which makes sense. So shout outs to those guys. Those guys are great.
Sweet. Yeah, we're going to do a big shout out for it at the end of the show as well.
Cool.
Yes, absolutely. That's really cool. I'm glad that it kind of like brought you all together. That makes me really happy. So yeah, thank you again, Kefka. Kefka, you are awesome. And we have one more guest coming on for some Aliens versus Predator. We're seeing the Marine category or objective. I don't know. We're going to learn more about that in a bit. But yeah, say goodbye to Crowley. Say thank you to Kefka. And please give Kefka a follow. Go check him out. Especially like, oh, what a veteran in speedrunning. That's awesome. You're great. And thank you for joining us. And don't worry, everybody, we will be back in just a few minutes while we set up the next game and our final guest of the evening. So thank you all for watching so far. We'll be back in a few. All right, everyone, we are back with more Out of Bounds. This is going to be our last game and last guest of the evening, but I'm so excited for this one as well. Hi, if you're just joining us, what's up? I'm Kungfufruitcup, and Out of Bounds is it's basically a glitch showcase for glitch heavy speedruns. It's super cool. So tonight, to wrap up our like indie horror part 1 show, we have on now Pleasantly GG, who's going to show off some Aliens versus Predator, and this is something about Marines. So I want you to tell us about that. But first, hi, how's it going?
I'm doing great. I've been up all day excited for this and ready to showcase this beautiful run. One of our favorites.
It's going to be beautiful, I'm sure. Okay, so Aliens versus Predator is the game. And then Marine, so tell us about Marine.
So,
it's like a category or like a...
In this game, there's 3 categories. And chronologically, they go Marines, Predator, and then Alien. So there's 3 separate runs completely. And they're all taken as their own. So this one is just the first one, basically.
Sweet.
It's you play as the human, obviously, the Marine. So less, crazy stuff.
Cool. I'm excited for that. And I hear we have some more Out of Bounds things, which is great, but maybe not as much as Nightmare Creatures. If y'all missed that,
yeah, it's gonna be hard to keep it that, honestly.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of anything else. So like, what brought you into like this game? And we'll talk about the indie horror community at the end. But
yeah. So I believe it was Mild Goth Daddy in the chat right now who found it in Abandonware, and we're always searching for games, and it wasn't that ran. There was some runs on Speed Demos Archive. Fun fact, there was a segmented run on Speed Demos Archive that was about 36 minutes long. And now the record, because of people's hard work, is just last week it hit sub 26. So it's like 25 minutes right now.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that's
awesome.
We've definitely found a lot of stuff since this game, since we found this game. Came out in 2001, I believe. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, again, I mean, it's really cool, again, when people just decide to join the communities and then they're like, I'm going to pick this game up. And then suddenly it's like, hey, last week we found this really big thing. You never know like when that's going to happen or how often, just based on community involvement. That's why like I see runners come on the show all the time who are like, we love more people interested in the game. Like, come help us break it, like find things. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like join us.
No, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
I do want to say there's actually like their own Discord for this. There's an AVB2 Discord, and they're still all into the playing multiplayer, and they make patches to make this game runnable, and they still play it to this day. There's a Discord, an active Discord, that still plays this outside of speedrunning. So.
That's so much fun. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm pretty new to this game, so I'm excited to see it. Again, if you all have questions or thoughts, whatever, I'm looking at chat. I love seeing you all talk amongst yourselves. Anytime there's like a question, usually somebody in chat is like a member of the community and they answer it. But, we're here just in case. So I'm just going to take the back seat. I want you to count us in and then show off the brokenness that this game has to offer. Tell us.
All right. That's wonderful. I started off just spawned into the first level because there's 2 missions in this game where there's a 50-50 chance that it just crashes. And the first level is one of them. So I was just going to avoid that by spawning in. So we can start it on my first movement, and I can count down from that.
Sounds good.
Okay. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So first thing you would want to do casually is take out your little hacking device. And this gentleman will ask you to hack this little thing. But we're not going to do that. We're going to go over here. And there's just a little bit of geometry. I'll put my flashlight on it. There's a little bit of geometry where you can jump and it can let you scale up the wall. And this is probably one of the biggest reset points because it's weird to get up this. And we can get out of bounds right off rip. So,
wow.
Ooh, what's this? Okay, cool. But you can get right out of bounds under here. Oh, I guess not. Let me quick save right there. We'll go over here. It's easier to do. But you can get out of bounds and right under the map immediately. Unfortunately, there's a big box around here, so there's a loading zone that spawns in everything, the rest of the level. So It's not useful, but it is cool that you can just get out of bounds right there. But you can
You can
drop
just
down right
out.
through the top of the building and skip this little thing. It only saves about 4 seconds, but this run is pretty tight.
Gotcha. Yeah, when it's 25 minutes, seconds always matter.
When we first started, it was about 40 minutes. So it came down,
wow.
Quite a bit. And that's thanks to a gentleman named Lick. He was in the AVP2 Discord that just plays it casually, like the multiplayer, prior to us picking it up. And he joined us and just started diving into the glitches. Even up to last week, just a few days ago, he found a new glitch that saves more time, and I can't even do it yet. And I know he loves that I can't do it because he loves making hard skips. But
Awesome.
along with weird geometry and being able to climb up it, like you can just right there, you can jump on corners of slants. Yeah, there's like a little double jump, and it's like one of the only pieces of tech that the Marine has, but it's actually super useful and makes so many more things possible that if it wasn't. So we're just gonna climb up this geometry.
Like, where are we going?
We are going up this hill, and normally you would walk all the way around this, and there's a bunch of cutscenes that play, there's a bunch of cars that drive by, and it's all hectic and stuff. But because you jump up there and skip all that, it actually doesn't spawn most of this stuff in. Like there's supposed to be things up here and dead guards.
Oh,
and
nice.
everything.
Okay, so like there would have been like a loading trigger, and then
Actually, even right here, there's a door right here, and they still have to hack this to finish the level.
it's okay.
So this mission is called Unwelcome Guest 1. This is one mission that has 4 parts. So that didn't have too much crazy out of bounds, but this one starts getting pretty exciting. I'd
Okay,
say.
sweet.
There's a few different mechanics in there. There's secondary triggers, and they're just invisible boxes that for some reason are placed and can end the level early. Double jumps, of course. Oh, I want to talk about these gentlemen right here. So these guys just fly around randomly and can fly right in front of you, and they just will stop you. They don't hurt you or nothing, but when you're taking straight lines, these guys can get you. Even got me
Like
stuck
they'll
right there.
stop your movement.
Yeah, he will stop you, get in front of your way. And there's not too
Okay.
many of them, so. But there's another one right there, just stop you, hard stop you. So you got to watch out for them. I usually just shoot them just in case, but
Yeah.
you got to come down here, turn on the power, and that will allow you to believe that actually you wouldn't technically have to do that if one door would open. We could just go out of bounds, click a button, and then end the level. But because the power isn't on, there's one door you can't open. So it's very unfortunate. We're still
Yeah, that would
we're
save
still working
so
on
much
trying to do
time.
that. It would save so much time.
So much. Yeah. That's wild.
So this is an interesting first little glitch. You come up here, and you can jump off of this slant and crouch, and it'll tuck you in this little thing.
So you jumped and held crouch at the same time, or
Mhm. Well, you don't have to hold it or anything, but you just have to crouch by the time you make it there, so you can fit in that little thing.
you can fit there? Okay, so now we're out of bounds. Okay.
Yeah, we are out of bounds, and this is it's just so perfect that this works like this because you can just jump in bounds right here, and you can turn on the power, and this will spawn in the secondary trigger and the end of the level sequence. And the cool thing about this, the reason to save so much time is because this elevator naturally spawns up here. So normally you would come downstairs, come in here, you would call this elevator down, it would come down, and you take it back up, hit that button, and then you take it back down again. So, and the elevator sequence usually takes pretty long. So it's a really good time save overall, just jumping through the side door. I said side door, jumping from in from out of bounds. And just slide through this door right there. And this is the door. If this door would open without the power down there, then this level would be so much quicker.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Like you were saying earlier.
So this is the first example of a secondary trigger. You can't reach it. Okay, I just learned something. You can just reach it by jumping. I thought you had to double jump, but This is an amazing level. I cannot wait to show you, but I'm going to take a little detour and show you this funny little glitch that a gentleman named The One found not too long ago. It's probably about last year. And it doesn't help the speed run at all, but I think it's pretty interesting. So we're going to go down and look at it real quick.
Okay.
A lot of this is straight lines, hitting buttons optimally, and then sliding through doors without being stopped. Grab this armor just in case. On here, jump, crouch. Okay, this is an interesting part. I'm gonna make a quick save right here just in case. But you open this door, pull out the hacker,
Okay.
and we gotta be quick with this. Okay, turn around, see if we can get this door open. Okay. There's supposed to be a bunch of aliens running through here, but they're just. You're supposed to be in this room like all scared because they're breaking in, but they're just boxes.
Like 80 aliens, but there's just
Yeah,
boxes.
scary aliens. But that glitch wise, that's all this has to offer. So I'm gonna go back to the beginning of the level.
Okay. That's so good.
And the reason I love this level so much, Lick found this, of course, but this is normally like a 3.5 minute mission. And for some reason, without anything else, without any requirements, you stand right here and double jump. You can just end the level. It's a 3.5 minute mission to a 8-second mission.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. Every level has like random alien spawns, so sometimes it could be barren and you don't see anything. And some are predetermined, like there's an alien spawn right here. I will always spawn there. And same for down the road right here. Just take them out. Aliens can hit you. I feel like it's a 5% chance. Don't quote me on that, but there's a 5% chance that when you get smacked by an alien, you just get stunned.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna double jump onto these crates right here, pull out the grenade launcher, and I'm gonna take a second to explain this glitch.
Oh,
once I get
you're
up here.
hopping. That's not intended. That's not
This is
intended.
definitely not intended.
Okay, wait.
Okay, so we are out of bounds, but we're not. So there's a bunch of invisible walls right here that you can't shoot outside of this. But right where this angle is, there's like a triangle. You can envision it like this, where there is no collision, and I can shoot across the map. So get rid of this fella right there. But there are so many iterations of this skip, and basically the main goal of this mission is you take a bunch of lines, you take this whole detour, you take a few elevators, and you go into this room where this lady is stuck to the wall. You're supposed to like check to see if she's okay. And you go down there and she's not okay. So basically all you have to do is shoot her or interact with her or talk to her or something like that. And then when she gives a voice line, you're good. But we started finding ways that we could like hit her from across the map. We just had to find a way to get out of bounds. So I'm gonna quick save, quick load. Hopefully it got me out of bounds. We'll see. And we're gonna pull out the grenade launcher. And there's a specific lineup where, oh no, I didn't get out of bounds. So because I hit the invisible wall.
Oh, okay. You have to load again.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Oh my gosh. I feel like infected with an alien.
Yeah, they like have aliens. She's like strapped to the wall by some goop. It's like you never know. But we're going to.
You can totally shoot her.
Yeah, you can hit her from across the map. I'm gonna take my time so I don't. Hopefully, we're gonna see if we get it. Then we'll see a Jesus voice line dialogue pop up. Yeah.
Oh,
so there you go. I would love to go down there. It's a long walk. I would love to go down there and show you how much that actually skips. But it goes from like a 3-minute mission to under 1 minute. I think it was about 3.5 minutes that it was doing it like glitchless. And there was other iterations of this too. Much harder, but still took longer time. And luckily that the final iteration of this glitch was the easiest and the lineup was the easiest to find. But that's all you have to do. You just have to interact with her. And half of the dialogue doesn't play that was supposed to play because you're so far away. But then you can just walk right back and then end the level there. So
good. How many levels are in this game?
So I don't know exactly how many levels there are, but there's a lot more than it seems. Because if you're looking at the menu, it'll say like 7 or 8 missions, right? But some missions have like 5 parts to them. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I want to show something interesting here. So, if you shoot these guys, they are your friends. You'll fail the mission immediately, and there's not supposed to be a way to kill them. But Lick, again, just goofing around, he actually found a way to get rid of them. If you double jump on top of their head and then quick save. Here, I'll try this guy first. So, do a quick save on top of his head, and then we'll spawn in and crouch. Okay. Spam crouch so we're inside of him. And for some reason, we just kind of like jump around. We'll see if we can get this real quick. I don't know really what causes it, but
Gonna unload him?
we're going to actually kill him for some reason. I don't know why it works, but we're just gonna jump around until it does. And
Oh my gosh,
you just
what?
kill him. Yeah, I don't know why it works. I don't know anything, but yeah, it does. And Lick also found this just for this, but you can spam quick save into this wall right here, if I can get it right. And
Oh, the quick.
yeah, we'll see if we can get it. I haven't tried it too much, but see if we can get out of bounds here. It just falls. It makes you fall into a death plane, so it's not too important. But he found it specifically for this. No reason, but you know we're out of bounds. So
Great.
this is one of the more straightforward levels. Outside of all that, there's a lot of hitting buttons, a lot of hacking things, knowing where alien spawns are. We'll just go through it like we would. At the end, there's an interesting glitch. Again, Lick found. It's about a 20-second time save, and it's really hard to do. And he loves finding things that just make the run so much harder. He likes
So much harder?
Yeah. I'm gonna pull out my hacker. I'm gonna
One of-
spam through
I
this
feel
little
like-
cutscene.
One of the best things for speedrunners is when they've had a bunch of hard tricks, but then like one random person finds like, oh, you could just go this way and you could just go around all of it, and then you can get rid of a bunch
Yeah,
of hard tricks in a row. Yeah,
It's a beautiful thing, really. Here's some more predetermined alien spawns. I'll shoot
Okay.
that right there. Hit the switch. These guys will spawn. Make some straight lines. Shoot that in there. There's like 5 or 6 aliens that can come out of that little vent, and you don't want to get stunned. That's the last thing you want to do is get stunned. So basically, we're hitting all these switches so we can let this tank go through to the end. I don't know why I can't hit that. These guys will. A lot of these are actually predetermined. A lot of levels are random with how many aliens will spawn, but this level is very
it's
standard.
predictable.
I would assume this is intended, but you can grab this torch and there's like a vault, or what is this little door right here, and you would burn off these little latches right there, and then you can fall down. But if you just take a little bit of fall or a little bit of steam damage, then you can slide in right between there.
You can just get right there, yeah, and that's faster.
Yeah, I guess there's a tiny little bit of tech coming up here. I say tech, but it's more about your timing on things. So another predetermined spawn. This bug right here, this one is a big culprit. He likes to chill right here and then stop you in your space, and then you're getting smacked up by an alien. So
Gotcha. That's probably on purpose. Yeah.
it has to be. I feel like it has to be.
So, like stop and get smacked, and then you can.
We always
Nice.
shoot this little mini nade right here because there's a little gentleman that likes to chill there, and that's a random one. You don't know if he's gonna be there, but we always just shoot it. So
Okay.
right here you have to be speedy. You want to hit this lever. Oh, and we might not have been speedy enough. So basically we have to cross this road with the tank, and if you're speedy enough, then you can beat the tank. But I'm not taking that chance. Yeah, so you can
'Cause what
usually
will you
just
just
walk right in front of it.
will it legitimately just kill you.
Oh yeah,
It
if
hits
it's
you.
moving and you touch it, even from the back or anything, you just you're dead.
Aw.
Yeah, so it is a dangerous tank. Our alien spawns. Okay, cool. You're watching people get like dragged into vents and stuff as you're going
Right.
through here. A lot of small tech, like hitting doors as soon as possible, and then being center so you can slip through them as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna attempt this. I told Lick I would. I don't personally even do this in runs yet. So,
Okay.
But there's another secondary trigger here, and normally I'll make a quick save here so I can talk about this real quick. But normally you would come up to this hacker, and you hack it, yada yada, and then they start talking. Then the tank busts through, and the level ends. But if you come in here, you can use an alien. Quick save. You can use an alien to double jump on top of his head and then double jump off of his head to hit another secondary trigger that ends the level early. We'll see. I don't know why he goes for it or how he found it in the first place, but he makes things happen. Ooh, there's that stun I was talking about. You just kind of sit there, stun for about 3 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna quick save or quick load again.
Oh,
I thought that was it.
that was really close.
This one is much smaller than the other ones. Secondary
Some
trigger
time
wise.
save. Oh,
If I don't get it soon, I'll just.
oh, that was really close.
I know. Oh my gosh. This is not a surprise. Every time I've tried this trick, it actually took me so long to even get it in the first place because you're just sitting here getting mauled by this alien
Yeah.
and it gets frustrating.
Yeah, you're
there
like
we go.
relying. Is that it?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh,
this
sweet.
is one of the levels that I can crash on. So if it crashes, I'll just reopen.
Okay.
We'll see. It
Oh,
all
good.
depends on the loading screen. And it looks like it's going to be all right. Okay, cool. So normally for this, you would walk down this corridor and open up this door, and then it brings you into a little cutscene and everything. But again, Lick found this thing where if you walk in here, this elevator always just starts going up, and you can jump on top of it and then jump right here. So normally you would go hit that cutscene, you climb up some ladders, climb through some vents, and then you would end up at the end of here. But you can actually jump from here, land on top of that button, hit it, and activate this trigger to bring down this thing and then advance the level.
Like we don't have enough problems already.
Nice.
There's an interesting thing with this dialogue. Whenever dialogue plays and you need it to finish to advance, you can quick save, quick load during the dialogue, and it will just skip right onto the next piece. Lick also just found this with these circular kind of vents. If you do a very tight crouch jump into it, then you can slide instead of crouching, and it would save probably like 4 or 5 seconds. But
Yeah.
you want to only go for it about once before you just crouch walk down it.
You just
'cause it's not
crouch.
worth.
Right.
You'll have the results.
And here
Cool,
we just
though.
you walk through this vent to end the level.
Down 4%.
Nice.
You can shoot this little torch and stop their talking. They get all scared. Like, what's going
Oh, do
on?
they?
Yeah. Who is that?
I go. Did you hear something?
This is another pretty straightforward level. Not too much glitching, but also not very long either. So you start off by just hitting these. Oh, they're actually, thinking about it, there is a little OOB right at the start right here. So I'll make it, like, you can kind of just walk through this. I'll make a little quick save here. And you can just kind of jump out of bounds and take a little peek. It's nothing important. You can't, it does nothing, but I figured I'd show it anyway.
It's cool.
Okay.
That's what this show is for.
So here we see our first like different kind of alien. I don't know what he's called, but he pops out like a big boss. But on easy mode, he just dies in one shot. So to the head. So I don't know. He has random spawns. He can spawn at the end of this hallway, right here, or at the end of this hallway. Ideally, he spawns when you get right here, right there, and you can just pop him and then pull out your torch real quick and go down here.
Gotcha. So the any percent's on easy mode, I assume?
Yeah, we normally play on easy mode, just because there are hardcore
It's faster.
runs because it is significantly harder. There's no quick saves on hardcore, so that makes some of the tricks not even possible, to be fair.
Oh, fair. Yeah, and I'm sure practicing is also annoying and fair.
This, another discovery by my good friend Lick. This was the last big discovery for the run. It's a whole minute shaved off, a minute and a half probably.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
normally you would hit this, or I don't even remember which lever it is now. There's one of these levers you hit, and it would raise him up, and you can fall down into this little thing. You get on some vents, you kill people, you have to go through water, break open gates with the torch, turn on some power, run through aliens, or you can go right into this corner and quick save
Oh.
and fall right through the floor. And it just
Oh.
happens to be right at the end of the level. And
Cool.
you can just walk right into the elevator and end the level.
Nice.
Another little glitch, if a button will open a door and close it too, if you hit them before the door closes. So you press the first button to open it, and the second button before it's all the way open, it will like usually glitch out.
Oh, like so you can't use it or what?
Sometimes you can't use it, sometimes it's very beneficial. So for example, in the next level, there is one where you can open up an elevator door and then hit the inside button to make it go, and the door doesn't close, so you can actually exit early. But
Gotcha. Oh, okay, cool.
for some reason, you can kill this player character or this friendly enemy right here if you shoot at the proper time through this. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it though. But you can kill him from right there. For some reason,
That's
it
cool.
doesn't like mark you.
Like a little like hole in the wall or something.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Gotcha.
So this level is of course. So I'm gonna explain this real quick. There is 4 different rooms in here, and you always want to check these ones on the right side because these are the best ones you want. But there's that little key card on the table, and it can spawn in pretty much opposite here. I'll show you this real quick over here. It can spawn also in these 2 rooms right here. And you want them on the right side. So of course I would get the good one on current world record does not have good key card. So it's about 10 seconds lost. But this
got
is
it.
a straight line level. A lot of enemies to kill. I don't really know why I closed that. Reopen that. But you have to come up here and get your hacker. Behind this gentleman that got his life spared. And I believe if you kill him while you're in here, it will fail the mission. So,
Oh.
yeah.
I have a bunch of the people like they've just, why are they evil?
I don't think I do. I'm not too familiar
You're just
with
like,
the story.
I don't
I don't know
know.
why these guys are trying to kill you. I know you're just breaking in, and
You're good.
a lot of the stuff skips cutscenes, and we skip a lot of cutscenes, and so I haven't watched too many of them in a while.
Gotcha.
But we grab that key card. These gentlemen will come through, and everyone just is alerted to you now.
Nice. You want to yell at Lick about anything? Lick is in the chat right now.
Lick, stop finding glitches that are so hard. Thank you.
So as we're going through this level, if you all, for those who've been watching the show, especially since the beginning, you were gonna give this show a title on YouTube. What would you call it? I'm really bad at YouTube titles. What would you all call this episode? About it. Also, sorry, go on.
You got me thinking now.
I know, if you have an idea, let me know.
Good deal. Trying not to die in this level is great, especially because of the OOB. You kind of take some fall damage, and then you just gotta pray that they don't destroy you.
Okay.
Still ending with a little bit of low health, 23 health. but it's still fine. This is
What's your
such a
max
big
health?
culprit for time loss because you have to hit the outside door or outside button, hit the inside button, and then once the door closes, you have to hit it again.
Oh, to like start the elevator.
Yeah, and there's no other one that's like it in the game, so everyone just sits there.
Got it.
You can kind of walk through this vent, even though you're supposed to crouch, until you hit your head on this little light, and then you have to crouch. And now we're coming up to Betrayal 5. This is a 5-part mission. And Lick just found a skip
Of course.
last week. You know, he was so happy about it. I'm gonna grab this health real quick before I do anything. But I'm almost certain I'm not gonna be able to do it because I still haven't done it once. But you want to double jump on the top of this gentleman's head, and you're gonna want to. The goal is to jump as high as you can, crouch, and then quick save with hopefully your feet on this little ledge. And I know I'm not going to be able to do it and get out of bounds. And of course, Lick would find this, and you can run across this wall. Actually, I can just show you just real quick. So just use this little in-game little cheat. You would walk across this wall like this and fall down to the second floor and bust out to this. And people have done it. People have done it before, so it's not impossible, but it is impossible for me. So it deloads like most of the level, right? And I'll play through the level normally how you would without this glitch because I can't do it. But you can kind of walk all the way over here if you know the path. If you know the path. So, but basically you can make it to the end, but there's some invisible walls. And it would at this moment it's like it would be like what? Probably like 30-45 second time save if you could get it, but the trick is just so hard to actually even engage in the first place that
Got it.
I'm not worried about right now. At least by me. And
Again,
so
like
it would
you're-
skip this little hack. What is it?
Yeah. At a certain point, like certain types of tech or glitches or whatever just like aren't worth it in RTA.
A lot of like skips are like that.
It's like the double jumping off of the alien's head, not always.
Yeah, like current world record doesn't have the double jump off of the alien's head.
Sure.
Right here, we're just gonna do some little optimizations by crouch jumping through doors, which you have to be very careful for. It will surprise you, but sometimes while a door's opening, if you just hit it the right way while you're jumping through, it'll just insta kill you. So usually we'd be making quick saves before them, so you don't have to start to level over nothing. But there's a super interesting glitch at the end of this level. It's basically a boss skip, even though the boss isn't that hard on easy. None of the enemies are, so.
Right.
It's actually like 2 little glitches back to back that speed you up quite a bit. Okay, so this is the elevator I was talking about. We're gonna make a little quick save like right here. And if you hit this button, oh no, I want to showcase it. It's pretty quick timing. It's pretty quick timing. So, okay, yeah. If you hit the outside button and then hit this one before it opens completely, it'll just stay open. But the problem is that if you let it go all the way down to the bottom, then it glitches out the bottom door. And you won't be able to get out. So it's a little bit of a soft lock.
I was
So
gonna say
you
you're
have
soft locked right now.
You have to fall through that little gap in the wall.
Oh, so you're not actually soft locked out of it. You just have to jump down before.
Yeah, you have to jump.
Okay.
You have to jump out before. Yeah. So
Got it.
here, I'll explain this a little bit. Let's see if the level ends. It doesn't. Okay, so normally, I'll just show how this level normally goes, and then I'll quick save and show you what it does. So there's this elevator, and there is a giant mech suit guy who's sitting on it, and he takes all of his time to come up here, and then this door slowly opens, and then you shoot him once with like a shotgun, and he dies. And then you can end the level by standing over this big old square, and then it ends the level.
Okay.
But I'm going to load from the last checkpoint, which is right here. So we gotta take the elevator again, which I'm not too bothered by that. I just wanted to showcase it at first, but
Yeah.
so you have to be quick enough. All right. It feels like it's dependent on speed because when you're not fast, it doesn't work. But if you walk a certain path and you grab the rocket launcher without it, I don't really get it, but if you grab the rocket launcher without falling down past the box, then you can just walk right over the trigger and it just ends the level. So I'll see if I can get it right here.
Gotcha.
So jump on top of the box, grab the rocket launcher, and then it just ends the level for some
What?
reason.
What?
I don't understand why. You don't have to kill the boss.
I was like, I know you just explained it, but it's still just thing happened. It's so weird. Okay.
Yeah, it is very interesting. Right here.
Easiest
Usually
boss
stand
ever.
right here and we'll shoot a rocket launcher. There's like 5 of them down there that will, and you want to fall down and land on the like the bottom of the ladder because climbing down ladders is slow. But I also
Sure.
wanted to just show this real quick, some potential for this level. So if you get right here and then quick save, quick load, it will slide you right under there. I'll
Whoa.
do that again. It'll slide you right under there and you can quick load and maybe get out of bounds.
I say you go like behind.
You can
it.
almost see it, but
Oh, yeah.
basically you can like stand right here out of bounds and see all the greenness out there, and there's a bunch of invisible walls blocking you from being able to do that. So unfortunately it's useless. Oh, we're about there. Unfortunately it's useless, but
For now.
yeah, for now we'll come back to that later. There's too many invisible walls to make it worth it. But yeah, you can see how you want to land at like the bottom of the ladder
And,
instead
like,
of
grab
climbing all
on.
the way down that. Yeah. Well, we're coming up to an amazing skip in the next mission. I'm super excited to show. It's one of my favorites, and it wasn't found by Lick. Surprisingly, it was found by Mr. Mild Goth Daddy.
Oh.
And it was, it's basically comes from scouring each level and seeing like what is there to save and what could be possible. I'm just shooting into the dark right here because normally you would come down here and you have to torch these 4 things, and you get these guys who spawn and they will just start tearing your back up, stunning you and everything.
You just want to get him out of the way.
Just face it, but I just wanted to take him out before.
Got it. Alright. And Mile got that. He's also in chat right now.
Big ups to him. He's worked hard on this game, on all campaigns, and I want to mind you, it's like they haven't just broke this campaign; they have broken every single one of them. Lick has spent so much time running into walls and quick save, quick loading everywhere. So, well, this part's kind of sketchy. These guys can. I'm spacing the name right now, but these guys can be born right here and then just jump on your face and insta kill you. There is a cool little skip you can do right here if I can actually get it, but it's more slope jumping, and instead of like climbing up the ladder and going all the way around, you can jump right here. We'll see if I can get it. I actually did get this one in world record, so it isn't too impossible, but you wouldn't want to sit here and try more than once, you know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Normally.
It would be like just a attempt, then like, nope, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
Almost there, maybe. Let's see. I'll give it like 2 more tries. But normally, you would just hop right up there and go all the way across, and it puts you basically right where you need to be. And it's because of how the ladder is and how slow you move, you would just jump straight up here, down into here, and it's very fast. It saves you like 10 seconds, and in a run like this, it's
cool.
pretty nice. It's pretty nice. But it's also, you wouldn't want to depend on it just because slope jumps in this game, especially with terrain like that, is just so sketchy.
Yeah, they seem inconsistent.
Yeah, very inconsistent. Bunch of alien spawns right here. Sometimes there's 40 of them down here. Sometimes you get a little bit lucky and don't get bombarded as much.
Remember, they're not just like boxes again.
More, they like to fall right on top of your head, and they'll just stand on your head, just like I was standing on their head. They'll just stand on your head and stun you. It's crazy. So that was a long detour. This is a long detour too, so a 2-part mission, and I'm excited to show this. You want to grab health and armor for this.
Okay.
This used to be another 3-minute mission that is now sub 1 minute if you do it properly.
Nice.
And
Okay.
I'll give it a little bit of an idea of how it used to go. So normally you would hit this power switch, and that would activate this crane. Where's the crane at? That crane. And so you activate that, and it starts picking these crates up and moving them away and moving them out of the way. And you have a bunch of aliens that spawn, and you have to sit there and take them out until you can get to the door behind it. And the crane is slow, picking up the boxes is slow, everything. But after looking at the map, like objectively, you know, and out of a hole, we noticed that the end of the level is right behind these walls. So we spent so much time, you know, trying everything to get through, and there is one solution, and it is quick saving right here, quick loading, and it will let you get a little bit farther in, just like that. And if I get lucky and I get the right spot, I'll quick save again and quick load, and when I get that black screen,
What were you tapping?
right over the wall. I was tapping jump. I was holding forward and tapping jump right there.
Okay, cool.
And it just pops you right up over the wall, and then this is now the end of the level.
Oh,
and
wow.
then there's even another little time save that you can have right here. So you can, there's like this little black line right there. You can jump on top of it and scale across past this door. I'm not gonna worry about it too much right now. And it would skip this little hack right here.
Cool though.
Yeah. And
like
but
right
you can get
here.
past that door, and yeah, it's even much more of a time save, like 5 more seconds, and in a minute long mission, it's really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that it's gotten down to just a minute.
And then that's the end of the level. That's a 3-minute mission that's turned into nothing basically.
That's cool.
Okay. This one's a pretty standard level. There's not too much. There's a little bit of tech at the end that was found out that saves some time, but overall, this is another short mission with not too much going on, but it's still interesting in itself.
Yeah, for sure. How far as well are we through the game at this point?
We are pretty far into it. We got a few missions left. It's the later half, definitely. We're in that last quarter, I'd say. When you're doing the run.
Nice.
So right here, this guy's cloaked up here, hiding so he can shoot you. And he'll only shoot a few shots and then he'll run away. But because of the skip in the last level, you usually are low health right here. And you don't want to risk taking those shots.
Okay.
So I'll grab some health right here. You're going to need it for the later half of the level. There's just some electricity that will... it will take your health down, and then you have to go into the next level with that low health as well. So I'll just grab the armor and the health just to be safe.
So do you just like damage boost through it, basically?
Yeah. You're supposed to turn it off because it's like, oh, you don't want to get hurt or whatever.
It's
but
fine.
you just walk through it. You know, it's fine. Just take a little bit of damage. It's fine. But I'm gonna preemptively pull out my rocket launcher, and each weapon in this game has like an alt fire or alternative ammo, whatever it is.
Okay.
And the alt fire for this is a homing missile. And I'll show this right here. Yes. And it's needed for this right here. I'll make a quick save just in case. But this gentleman, actually, you know what? I'll show what it would normally be like. So you would travel down here, and he's kind of stalking you the whole time, you know, leaping across the building.
Oh, yeah.
You see him. He's looking all menacing, and he makes his big entrance down here. Where what kind of weapons do I have right now? Okay, I got a shot here. It's probably work. But you would sit here and wait for him normally, and he like traverses the whole everything, and then he comes down in some big like like he's a big shot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Look at him. He's like,
You said normally, but oh, there you are. Okay.
yeah. You give him a few shots, and then that would be the end of the level.
Okay.
And you come over here. They kill our Marine friend, and walking through that ends the level. But I found out there is a small window where the homing missiles will lock onto him, and right after he uncloaks. Oh. That's weird. Usually he's running forward, and once he gets right about here, the homing missiles won't work on him anymore. But for some reason, he just sat there. So
Nice.
it's really hard to kill him with anything else other than that. Actually, I don't even know if you can kill him with anything other than that while he's running across the
Well, he's going. Yeah.
buildings and everything. So,
But now he's
there's a big
done.
time save. Yeah, you don't have to wait on him doing his whole cinematic
Sweet.
junk. Yeah, it's really nice. So these guys, I always want to try to grab this guy's pulse rifle right before we go into the next level because it's nice.
Oh,
Because you skip
was that
so
like
much stuff, you
was
miss
that
so
like the
many
woman
weapons.
in the wall that you shot earlier with the?
Yes, that's how the woman in the wall was from earlier. Yeah. I wonder if it is her. Actually, and I haven't seen the woman in so long. I wonder if it is her. This level was full of a bunch of alien spawns. This is a good level to get stunned on and lose a bunch of time. But also a big problem is that there's a bunch of Marines around too. So you have like 6 aliens right here, and you'll be shooting them, and then get a random shot at a Marine, and then
You fail.
the run. Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. So or fail the level.
That's annoying.
So this has another. There's not very many secondary triggers in the end of the run, but this one actually has one, and it saves a good chunk of time. So can't wait to show. But this also has some interesting thing. You're supposed to wait on a guard to open up one of these doors. Where are they at? Yeah, they're over here. And you see this bad girl up there scaring everybody.
Uh huh.
You spam this door, for some reason it just opens, even though you're supposed to wait on the guards.
Nah, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, we'll just go up there. It's fine.
Speedrunners, we don't like to wait for anything.
No, just spam it until it opens. But this is a really short elevator ride, and crouch right under that to get through as fast as possible. There's 3 aliens that always spawn in here. Sometimes they'll just lunge at you immediately and stun you. It's a beautiful thing. So normally you would hit this right here and go down there, and it spawns in a big old it spawns in the ship that will take you away, and then you fight this like little alien boss. But thanks to Lick, of course, you can double jump onto this little ledge right here, and for some reason you just jump into the wall right there. There's a secondary trigger that ends the level.
That's it. And that's it. Okay, great.
Yeah. This last mission is Savior 2, and you're actually in a. Oh, I say it's a last mission, but there's Savior 1 and part and 1 and 2. Sorry.
Okay, so it's a
And,
two-parter thing.
Mm-hmm. And in the first one, you're in this little mech suit, and you kind of want to traverse. Oh, yeah, you didn't want. You don't want to do that.
A little too far.
Yeah, just a little too. Mild actually found a way a while back where you could drop down to the very bottom without taking any damage and very fast, but very inconsistent trying to set it up. It's just as... I was stuck by the plant. That's... Oh, I almost said it. Never happened before.
Oh, woohoo! That's what we used to call the show.
That's crazy. Yeah, but I have a little bit of low health, so I'll make sure to not die during this. Admittedly, Savior 1 and Savior 2 aren't very glitch heavy, but I figured we're here. They're very lax levels, and you fight the boss, so I figured we just finish it out since we're here.
Sure.
There is still time to lose on it if you're not careful. And losing the run on these last two missions is not fun at all, because after doing all the, breaking out of bounds and skipping through walls and doing all this stuff and keeping enough health, these should be, like you get this long elevator ride and you get to take a breather. You're like, okay, this is it. Just hold on.
The moment.
Yeah. Just get through this. It's it. The most nerve-wracking part about this is just how many enemies are spawned. Another interesting fact is that strafe speed, like strafing, is not faster in any other situation except for when you're in the mech suit.
When you're in the mech, I could tell.
Yeah. So I don't understand why, but we're gonna go down here.
And then you just start strafing constantly.
Mm-hmm. So you want to shoot these little stems. I'm not quite sure what these are. Oh my goodness, all these aliens. You can see why you kind of want to take them out a little bit, but
yes.
Around here,
You do have limited ammo. It's just a lot.
Yeah, you get a lot of ammo in this level. Usually, you could probably hold this gun the entire time while going through this entire level. You still wouldn't run out of ammo.
Yeah.
And then you have like a flamethrower and alternative ammo too. So that's
cool.
They just give you plenty. Give you plenty to work with. Like these. And we're gonna go around in a circle here, so I don't get destroyed by the aliens.
Oh, you still try to hit those?
Mm-hmm. You just destroy these stems. There's only 2 of them. And then we're gonna try not to get mobbed by all these aliens.
Oh, yo, that one's gonna come after you, I think.
I know, there's so many. And when you're doing the entire run, it's like, oh, this is the easy part, and then it's so easy to die if you're like not careful, especially if like you lose 2 health from the initial drops. I'm gonna quick save here so I don't end up losing to something crazy. All right,
Gotcha.
That's the end of that mission, and that's save
nice.
1.
Got part 2.
And now we have part 2. This is the last mission of the game, and it is on easy, so the boss is pretty easy in general. Hardcore, she is very tanky.
I'm sure.
I've tried. She's extremely tanky. The interesting thing about this boss, though, is that it has like critical damage at the head, and then you know how an alien has the tongue that pops out that has the mouth on it. I'm pretty sure if you aim for the mouth, then it's like super critical damage. So she has like cycles where once you start doing damage. Oh, we got the 1 cycle. But basically,
what? Is that it?
Yeah, it's not supposed to be that. It's not supposed to be that fast. So, she has cycles where if you take too long doing damage, she'll just become invincible for like, I think it's like 4 to 5 seconds, something like that. And you have to wait, and then you can start shooting her again. But if you get lucky and you just focus all the shots on her head, then it will just 1 cycle kill her so quickly, and then you can come down here. At this point, you're just waiting on this gentleman to open up his doors. It gives you the only sniper rifle in the game.
You can
for some reason right here, but
weird.
And we once you fall down from this little ledge right here, I think it's about 20 seconds until he opens up this cargo door, and then once it opens, you got like 3 or 4 seconds before the trigger is active to walk off.
Gotcha.
You would not imagine how many runs are failed to jumping off there too early.
Too early? Oh no.
Yeah, there's been plenty of runs where you fall off. Oh, and that's time. Sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah,
but
that's time.
literally, you lose the run because you forget the very last thing.
It depends on if you're safe and you make a quick save right before the end, then you're fine, right? If you fall, you just quick load and then continue waiting. But if you're like walking backwards shooting aliens and you fall off and you haven't made a quick save, that's it right there.
Over. Oh my gosh.
And then there's just a bunch of cutscenes talking about, hey, we did it,
We did it.
Yeah.
Speaking, we did it. We made it through the show. We got
did it. We did it.
everybody on. Everybody's internet held up, which is great.
Beautiful.
Everybody got through their games. These games are broken. They were fantastic.
But yeah,
Thank you
I would
for
definitely
coming
check
on.
out this game, Marine, Predator, Alien, whatever
Yes.
you wanted to. It's all so fun.
Is that your favorite? Is the Marine your favorite category to go through?
Yes. Well, okay. I say it's my favorite, but it's also the only one I'm good at, right? Every other one is significantly harder. Like,
Oh, sure.
yeah, so a lot more precise. I'm big on the straight lines and killing people and doing all that stuff. So
Fair.
yeah, it's fun. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on Pleasantly as well. I know that you are pretty heavily involved again in the indie horror speedrunning community. You said you like helping kind of run the server and stuff.
There's a few mods, and I'm one of them that help run everything and keep everything cool.
Yeah. So then from that, well, first of all, I want to hear kind of like, it's your time for plugs, right? And then I want to talk about the indie horror community too. So
Okay.
tell us where to find you, what you're working on, etc.
So I'm just Pleasantly GG on everything that I'm on. So like Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, whatever. And to talk about indie horror speedruns, we try to do a lot over there. It's a really chill community, just a bunch of cool people who like playing a bunch of crappy games. And this is one of the outliers, kind of. This is one of our favorite games. Like, a lot of us have ran it. A lot of us have found glitches for it. We have different eras where the game is dropped by 5-6 minutes and everyone's loving it. It's a great time. But indie horror speedruns, we even host our own little marathons about like twice a year. We'll do like one at the end of the year coming up soon, and then tiny little ones throughout the years, maybe focused around like certain game devs or whatever. We just started some movie nights, so if you want to join up and watch, we just watched Friday the 13th like last week. A bunch of little goofy stuff. We're really community oriented. I don't know. It's just we're just a bunch of friends who like playing a bunch of random games. Like you have games like Alien versus Predator, and then we have games like that are 30 seconds long, made in 48 hours that we all love. So it's
that's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things. I guaranteed you come there, you'll find something interesting that you would want to run. So
yeah, so if you all are interested in like horror speedrunning, there's I've been in the server to kind of check out. Not that I really speedrun much anymore myself in general, and I'm not good at playing through scary games. But just kind of glancing over the server, they have like a bunch of different categories and cool stuff, and cool to again see the community come together to bring people on for this show. Plus, if you come back in 2 weeks, you get to see 3 more runners coming on from the community with 3 more games. And I'm really excited. I'm really glad that like we have the time to kind of showcase all this stuff off. So huge shout outs to the community. You all should go check it out. Join the server. Like if you want to speedrun a game, here are some options. It's like you got some things you can learn, try out. But yeah, go check them out.
We mod like over, I think it's probably about 120, 130 games right now.
That's awesome. That's really dope.
So, a lot of games.
That's super cool. But yeah, go join them. Go hang out with them. And also say hello to Pleasantly. Please give them a follow too. And yeah, this is super cool. So thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for helping with the shout outs and showing off Aliens vs. Predator too.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And I think I totally just said it was Aliens vs. Predator and didn't use the number 2. So it's the second one. So my bad for that. But yeah, you all are great. Thank you so much for being here and watching the show. If you are watching on YouTube, hi. We have shows live that are like basically daily. You can tune in at 7 p.m. Eastern on weeknights and 4 p.m. Eastern on the weekends. I don't know. For some reason, I've just totally forgotten at the moment. Let's see. What do we have coming up? GDQX is coming up this weekend, by the way. Don't forget, GDQX is coming up this weekend. It's going to be awesome. You can go check out the schedule at gamesdogquick.com/schedule. Also, a GDQ games list is out, so you can go check that out. Just go to gamesdogquick.com. You can see on like there's a column and it'll show like, oh, games list available. So the schedule will be out for that at some point. But yeah, come hang out with us in Pittsburgh for a GDQ in person. I'm so excited. Yay, kind of within driving distance. Yay. Yeah, so you can check those out. I'm really excited for those. And then also, if you are a business developer or have experience in recruiting sponsorships and you want to work for GDQ, gamesdonequick.com/jobs. You can apply. How to do that. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here and for joining us. Tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. for more amazing Hotfix content with awesome showrunners and guests. We have amazing showrunners. I love them. So thank you again, Pleasantly, and the indie horror speedrunning community. Tune back in 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, we have 3 more coming up. I'm really excited to show off more from this community. And yeah, and I will see you all then. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your night.
Bye.